Howdy, folks. I'll be right with you shortly. Just about, we'll go through the rest of this track. Just getting the word out, Thank you for anybody who's here. I'm Cody with IronVerse Comics. I'll be right back with you. Alright. How's everybody doing? Anybody in chat, let me know if you're here. Just give a quick howdy. I always appreciate knowing folks are here. Welcome to another IronVerse Comics AMA and Drinks. Try to do this every Friday night at 7 Mountain Standard Time, 7 p.m. Just engage the community and making sure we can always get the information out if people want it, and there's always a place and a time you can find me and ask me stuff directly. Another place to go is our Discord. You can always get a hold of me through any of our social media links if you want in the Discord, and I can do that for you. It's the other best place to get the information you want and need of all IronVerse Comics info. So, been a pretty good day. Anybody in chat? Let me know how your day's been. Always curious about that. I don't have too much to inform today. Sadly, I was hoping I'd have much better news today, but you take the speed bumps. I guess I'll go straight into it. Get it out of the way. I was hoping to have the printer-proof copy of issue number 2 of Jack Irons in my hand today. Did not happen. Allegedly shipping out Monday. Printer was just a little bit behind. It happens. I'm really hoping we can avoid a lot of these speed bumps we dealt with this campaign with our next one, which is another thing I'll talk a little bit about in this stream maybe a little later on, is what's next for IronVerse Comics after Jack 2 starts releasing and going out to everybody. So that news bugged me a little bit today. But it's on its way. It's past the point where I have too much control over it, so I gotta accept what I can of these speed bumps. Let's see. Look for a better backing track. Let me know, folks, if my audio's fine, music's too loud, anything like that. Always, please do. Especially if everybody ends up actually being in here. If not, no worries. Getting the content down to, future posterity. Happy to be here. So besides that disappointing news, the next step in IronVerse Comics is about here. We've been working on it for a while. I've been kind of promoting it for a while. The next project, I'm going to be a less active role than I was with Jack on this title, which I'm actually happy to say I can be. It's going to be more of a slight editorial role, but mainly I'm going to be just doing the marketing like I did with Jack, without having to be the writer, creator, organizer so much. So that I'm pretty stoked. I'm interested to see how we can leverage that. We've got something pretty excellent in the works. I'm hoping folks will see it for the quality it is, just like they did for Jack. I trust our audience. There's some killer things with great taste, just like everybody here listening. I guess I might as well announce it. We wanted to have like a preview page for the campaign to show you today. I personally have fallen behind on contacting and getting a hold of that, so that's my bad. I don't know if it's up or not yet. Maybe if it's up this weekend, I'll just do a specific video recording about it and put a video up on it. But Cactus Coyote is coming, folks. We already released the manga, free manga for anybody interested. I'll go ahead and snag that link. Though Stream Elements, my bot in there, should actually drop it too at some point, but it'll take a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and snag it myself for anybody interested. The 40-page, the free 40-page manga, the point was very much the same as why I released Jack Irons #1 back in the day in black and white for free on the same site. You want to be able to show folks, especially if your bones haven't been made, what you're capable of and what you're doing, and a free issue isn't bad. Working through this manga was a hell of a thing. I'm very proud of what Dollar Coins and I have been able to do to get it out. It had its ups and downs, and we actually got 40 pages of a manga done. I lettered it and edited it, and he wrote and drew it, and we did it. No budget, no nothing, and you folks got more IronVerse comics. Super stoked we were able to do that, and it's a lot of the reason I really have faith in the project is because I know the passion's there, just like it was with me and Jack, and our team and Jack, and I think you guys are going to be impressed with the adaptation that we're doing. Cactus Coyote released, as I just put, as a manga on Tapas. And on our Patreon, if you want a better version, that's easy, that's less unwieldy. You can get it through our Patreon or Subscribe Star. But besides that, so let's see. People familiar with Jack know that it takes place on Earth, and it's more of a head job. It's more of a philosophical piece. Cactus Coyote is closer to a classic manga adventure tale, even in its Western adaptation that we're doing. It helps develop the wider galaxy around Jack and around the IronVerse. It helps solidify what it means to be in that world. I'm really excited to start putting it in front of people. The campaign has some pretty solid perks. It's got actually a lot of killer artists. It's going to have our first attempt at variant covers, so that'll be fun. We'll see how that goes. I think it's a good idea. He's got some killer talent attached for the covers, and I'm actually really excited to be able to show you what we're doing there when we get there. But it'll be a bit. If you will bear with me, I'm gonna go ahead and dump. I'm going to do a little bit more promotion real quick. So it'll just be a second. I'm gonna first look for a song for you folks that's a little bit more user friendly. Usually Laguna Muta has been here for the streams, so I'm gonna go ahead and shill him, especially this time since he is not. Laguna Muta, one of my oldest friend, not one of the, he is, but numerically and definitively and factually. A killer talented musician, and just it's very much worth checking out his music. It's available on pretty much most major digital platforms for download. Just look up Laguna Muta. His debut album Plugs Out, and I'll go ahead and show you a track from it while I plug the stream just a little bit more. I would like a little more interaction if possible, but I'm not going to shove it down people's throats. So anyway, this is Every Time I Blink by Laguna Muta. He's also here on YouTube. You can type in Every Time I Blink Laguna Muta, and you'll get his killer music video that is 100% indie filmed, and I think you'll be very impressed with what he was able to do. Again, thank you folks for being here and listening to my John on, and I'll be right back with you.
It all gone wrong. I felt out of place in a house built like mine, wearing what looked like my clothes and a watch telling me familiar time. Things are strange, am I who you think? Feeling rearranged every time I blink. Every time I blink. Every time I blink. Seeing things that I should remember from long ago. Names and dates that slip away, not sure of what I know. When did we paint the walls? Did they always look like that? Was the room always so small? Were the floorboards always cracked? Do I belong to you? Know my face? Do you feel wrong caught in space? Faces are distorted like a fuzzy photograph. Things that would have made me cry can only make me laugh. Everyone's staring at me with expressions unattached. I'm who I've always been. My world's been mixed and matched. Been here too long. I've gone too deep. This is where I woke up, baby, but now where I went to sleep. Throw out a line, I'm on the bridge.
All right, I'm back. Tonight's accompanying drinks. I might switch to something heavier down the line if I can keep this going here. But at the moment, it is Modelo Cerveza Especial. So, yeah, it's all right. Not my favorite. I was hoping it would be better. It's been a while since I had it. I picked it up today. And, it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, that's my liquid courage tonight. So, Cactus Coyote. If you folks have been paying attention, you might know a little bit about it, but always safe to assume your audience knows nothing about what you're doing. So, Jack Irons was a immortal cowboy in a post-apocalyptic hellscape on Earth. He remembers his past lives, and the goal is to explore the burden and weight of the atrocities and all the good stuff of being human, and put it in a mortal body in one of the worst places you can be. Whereas Cactus Coyote, a little bit different, a little less. It's not less depressing, in all honesty. His origins, as we reveal them, will show that. But the vibe is different. Whereas Jack's this badass who's kind of just keeping by himself, as you'll see in issue 1 and 2 of Jack Iron. Cactus Coyote is very much a hustler. He works for a living. gambles for a living as well, so he works to stay alive from his gambling. And it's a lot of fun. I really hope people will check out that manga. It's going to be one of the main shows, one of the main, oh god, what's the third? It's going to be the main evidence of what we're trying to do with the Western adaptation, though the Western adaptation's art is tighter, and it's different. I'm unsure if I should name the artist just yet, but folks around the indie community might know the guy a little bit for his stream art for a certain relatively popular YouTuber, comic YouTuber. So I'm kind of comic gaming YouTuber, but she does comics. He's also her artist. So I think I'm gonna hold off on that since I don't have the page to kind of go through and show you. I wouldn't mind previewing, again, I wouldn't mind previewing a page of it, but then I also don't know if I can. So, what I can do is, well, see, I also don't know the functionality here. Let me check. So, should have just switched. My curiosity, though, comes in the form of, if you're hearing me, which OBS shows it's picking me up, so that's good. It's picking up the music still, so that's good. I guess that will work. Yeah, this was set up for game streaming, so I wasn't sure how the audio would be, but it looks like it's okay. And I'm just going to go ahead with the assumption it is. You folks can let me know. So let me turn this on, and we'll go through it this way. This much I can for sure show you, so I might as well do so. Let me see if I can make it appear now. I can. Let me go ahead and let's go there, and let's see if I can fit this thing. Sure. We'll go with that. Well, I can go a little bit. I bet it could fit fucking perfectly if I am not a lazy bastard. There we go. Not exactly perfect, but it's better than it was. That's not the official logo. We have two currently we're kicking around, and there might be a third. I have to give credit for both of these incredible logos, in addition to the Jack Irons logos, to Zero Fox. He's been a killer talent. He really saved my butt over and over again with both logos, and he did our concept gallery for issue 2 with Jack, and it came out wonderful. He really was able to turn that into something special. All the extras in the back of the book into something special. And I am a little pissed I'm not able to look at that today, but hopefully it should be in my hands Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Tuesday, because they overnight it, because they're freaking awesome like that. But anywho, that's Coyote. Maybe one of these days I can get dollar coins on with me, and he can shill how he came to be on this, because last time I was shilling this and kind of showing what it was, I think around the release of the manga. Just a couple weeks, well, maybe probably over a month now. I had forgotten how I met him, and I feel so bad about that. But I'm a forgetful bastard sometimes. I'll just leave it in that context. That's as accurate as I can be. But IronVerse Comics, thanks to everybody, especially people, like anybody listening to this, the fans and the supporters. It's why I'm able to help facilitate all this kind of stuff is thanks to folks like you supporting that first campaign. What we've been able to do, the talents I've been able to connect with, the small niche of this highly chaotic industry I've been able to carve out as a newbie, I and our team teams. Honestly, there's 5 titles in the works, so there's quite a few teams. 2 titles, as you can tell, are already basically coming out. First one already has 2 issues coming out. This one's gonna, if we can fund it, it's gonna already have a quarter of the book done before release, Cactus Coyote. So that's gonna be cool. I'm unsure what kind of extras we have planned for it at the moment. There's some really cool perks, though. I'm looking forward to revealing when I can. When I have that link that I should have fought a little bit harder to snag before the stream. But today's been an odd day. Woke up at midnight and ballooned. Went to work to balloon at about 4:40 that morning, this morning, and then I slept after work, and then I went back to town. And then I came back here and slept some more. It's been an odd day for me scheduling wise. Physically, it's been hot, and that was draining. Not making excuses, just honestly filling content with why I wasn't. So yeah, you guys can see that. I don't care. I forgot that's open there though. That the wastes up here. I can't really show you, but that's something else I'm working on for Ashcan Publishing. Another short story. It's the 3rd I've released that takes place in the IronVerse under Ashcan Publishing. They're very much worth checking out. They support a wonderful group of creators, quite a large group of creators too, which is very cool. And they put out a quality book for like $10 a month. I think you get 2 awesome indie books, indie Ashcan size books, and a little bit of extras. And yeah, it's some fun stuff. I enjoy being part of it, and it's always fun to release prose writing that isn't exactly my forte. So it keeps me stretching out in the abilities. So I'm gonna run through Cactus Coyote a little bit, scroll through it. He's an alien shapeshifter. Let me see. The pitch is here. It's always better to to follow the pitch, because top of your head when you got the sleepy. I actually had to drink coffee before the stream too. Kind of why I have a bit more of a pep to my voice and keep running this. But oh, am I tired? All right, so you can follow the tale of this alien shapeshifter dressed as a coyote with a pocket dimension in their stomach, desperately trying to pay off their immense gambling debt. That's the overarch. That's a premise. It really isn't the story. In classic IronVerse fashion, it goes quite wide. The goal of IronVerse Comics is to kind of forge something similar down the line to a Western One Piece, and to that effect, we're working very hard. And Cactus Coyote is a killer step in the overall formation. Jack establishes what it is to be human in this universe. Cactus Coyote will establish what it means to simply live in this universe, because honestly, humanity is almost an extinct species, and the universe is quite large and in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Four kinds of awful trouble. And we got to figure out all these people kind of lost in their own lives. Gotta come out of that, come together, and see if they can make a better place for everyone in this hell universe. So we call this first one Out of the Frying Pan. The ship designs, things like that. It's again, the IronVerse itself is going to be very, very wacky. It's very serious, but it's going to be wacky in the effect of we want to lean into some of the magic of doing something like this. You take a very serious concept and core and heart, and particularly in Cactus Coyote's sense, we're putting a mask over that. In his case, it's kind of a manic depressive kind of mask. But the mania really will help kind of form what you're seeing there, because there isn't very much sanity in the IronVerse. It's not a great place. But you got to convey that in overall designs. This is Spinaroonie Town. It's kind of a main hub for Cactus, like New Deadwood is for Jack. Though there's more overlap between aliens, in particular space-based folks would know about both, whereas many on Earth, humanity is not allowed to leave Earth. It's an extinct species. They can't let anybody die. Or get out information of what it really is like on Earth. So they don't know much about the outside world, but the outside world knows quite a bit about them. And Spinaroonie Town is a gambling hub. It's one of the few kind of slightly neutral grounds in the galaxy. There's the five big warring factions, which would be the Four Horsemen, which are 4 of them, and the Anu Confederation, which is the last one, which is kind of a fascist. It's kind of the mirror universe of Star Trek, if it had started like something more hopeful and more happy and more of a good thing, then later got corrupted over centuries of fighting with 4 of the most infectious evils in existence. And so it kind of became what it hates and what it fought. So you see a little bit of that. You're going to see Spinaroonie is where those 5 factions can kind of chill. It's the criminal hub of the galaxy. It's the gambling hub. It's where pirates and thieves and such come to sell and bargain their wares. It's one of the last free ports. It's Tortuga of IronVerse. It's one of the last free ports out there. And you can tell a lot of crazy stuff can happen with that much diversity of opinions and thoughts and actions coming together, and the political power plays and such that would come into play are a big part of Cactus Coyote's eventual storyline. Dollar Coins really went all in. He's written the first 10 issues, which I believe is the first arc and a half or 2 arcs of Cactus Coyote. Might just be 1 arc, but there are 10 issues sitting there ready. We have an artist attached, so we're at the point for Jack and Cactus where we really just need the funding. And so here we are. I'm going to continue making content, trying to get our voices out there, yelling from the rooftops of the quality of talent that's attached with us and enjoys making work under us. Continue putting the banner forward for professionalism and kindness in marketing and in interaction with fans and consumers and customers. And we'll see how the future holds there. But I think the future looks very bright for IronVerse Comics, which is a very dark dystopian future. So far, also, I like to say, in Jack number 2, we present the most beautiful apocalypse in comics, if not in indie comics. And I hope IronVerse Comics overall will be the most beautiful ongoing apocalypse in comics. That's the goal, both in terms of artistry, in terms of message, in terms of experience. There's a lot of fun to offer. Also, Jack suffers from a distinct lack of cheesecake. Cactus will not be lacking the same amount. He won't be lacking that. Let's just say that he was very insistent. Huge manga fan. That's why we did a manga. And honestly, the concepts we explore, the world building he and I have been able to do both in Cactus and in Jack, and honestly the 3 other titles, which all have something written and sitting there and waiting. Only 1 title does not have an artist attached anymore, but we're working on that. I've got 2 candidates, and I'm really excited to really present it to them, because I love the little mini script I wrote. Most of these titles are going to be 8-page previews first before we work for a full issue. Because again, in indie, even if you have your name proven, it's better to be able to show folks what they're gonna get, or at least partially what they're gonna get down the line. Because it's not a sure gig. You're not going to a comic book store and picking up this comic and you get the content in the comic. That was the whole transaction. This is running the models this way. It's the only way I could have ever broken into this industry, honestly. It has its weight. It has its problems. There's a lot that... there's a lot I hope to avoid by presenting the best possible front end and promotional materials for our books to our consumers as early as possible and as consistently as possible. Now, saying consumers means they're going to toss it out and buy another one. So I do mean customers. I do mean fans and supporters. I don't want to use the word investors either, because technically there's a gray area in investing in comics that Jack hasn't had to cross that bridge yet. But thanks to a lot of incredible people, and specifically a shout out to the Rags team, they've been going through the firing line and over that no man's land of comic book investing. They've been going trial by fire through it, and I learned a lot by how they had to adapt and dodge. And hopefully IronVerse Comics will be ready for that if and when that angle comes. Particularly, we're going to be trying variant covers with Cactus Coyote, and that's going to be some of our first experience with that. I'm assuming we want to keep those variant covers exclusive to the Indiegogo print runs. So they're going to have a collector's value to them, and if the books are enjoyed and wanted, if they look good, then of course investors want to invest. But that would be after release. So I have to convince people who actually want the story and want to engage with the creators and want to support the universe we're building. I have to give the supporters, fans, consumers, customers, I have to give those folks as much hope as possible in the product's delivery and the quality of the product. And I've tried very hard to do that with Jack. It's been a bumpy road. It's almost had no end of bumps. Nothing that derailed, thank God. And we were always able to adapt and come out stronger for it so far. But since it's been sitting at the printer queue, I've been pissed just spinning on. But we're getting there. We're getting there next week. God damn it! And as soon as I have that book in my hand and it doesn't look like shit, in terms of the printer, we actually I learned about different file types and different coloring. I don't think the word's codex. It's a file format. It's a different. Anyway, there's a difference between the files you want to have printed and the files you want to have on the web. And issue number 1 of the Indiegogo Jack, and probably all future prints, will be a little dark because we use the web file format to print them instead of the what we could have done for the print. And I learned that this one. So hopefully Steve Cannon's colors, our new colorist on issue number 2, will be as beautiful, if not more so, than what I've seen on screen. And I'm really excited to get a goddamn, to be able to start shilling the cover. I tried to, I previewed it on one of these streams back in the day. You folks are willing to go look through it. I think it was a 4.5 hour stream, so if you guys can find where I put it, hallelujah, you go look at that cover and you tell me what you think. I adore it. There's things that will nag me on everything. Our issue 1 cover has something that'll nag me forever, and you know what? I think that's part of its magic. So I'm not too worried. But yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna do a couple more. I'm gonna switch real quick, folks. Switch on over to the other thing. I'll probably come back to this and we'll look through Cactus for a little bit longer, but for the moment, I'm going to do something on my browser that you folks don't really need to follow along for. It's just more promo. I do not know who's here, but I appreciate anybody in chat or listening later. Let me see. Nice. Dollar Coins did announce his Cactus Coyote Indiegogo on Instagram. He put out 3 pictures from the artist. I'm gonna see how he previewed them, because maybe I can get a hold of those for you, and I can show you, and we'll start talking about the artist. He didn't put it on Twitter yet. Let me go to his Instagram. Here we go. Let's go to the Cactus Instagram. Yeah, we've actually started adapting outside of Twitter. Isn't that a trip? Jack also has an Instagram, but I haven't quite... it's just pictures, so if you folks want to go look at them, please do, and all that good stuff. But Not that guy. That's got to be it, right? Yeah, that's it. Oh, yep, there's the pictures. All right, so I guess we'll look through his Instagram through these three, and I will announce the artists and all that fun stuff. Oh, cool! Well, good timing, Dollar. He comes riding in to save the day once fucking again. I love the guy. Really is partner in crime on this, and keeps me grounded. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to browser, and we're actually gonna look at the art that's going to be closer to the book. As soon as I can get there. I want to go back to that. There we go. So I'm going to open this one. Here we go. So, campaign coming soon. We're going to launch July 29th. We're doing both a black and white so that we can maybe sell it cheaper on newsprint. And we're also doing a color book. Right now we're courting a few different colorists. I'm excited for everyone we're trying. There is an ongoing call if anybody does hear this and is a colorist that we haven't worked with before, and your style is adaptable and has. It would be hard for me to describe exactly what Dollar wants. I've seen it. He actually has a wonderful montage for our colorists of the vibe he wants to make sure is getting put through. It's a very cyberpunk vibe. All of IronVerse is kind of it's a western cyberpunk. It's a weird western. It needs certain colors. Jack in particular has a lot of purples and reds. Probably always will. Very bright, vivid colors that catch your eye. It feels like basically all of Jack #2 to me feels like a New Mexican day. Steve did a wonderful job putting in sunset tones and heat, blue skies, gorgeous work Steve did, and we're looking at other colorists slightly outside of IronVerse Comics simply because we want to leave all doors open and make sure we get the best fit for the book. It's a hard thing to do. But so Andrea Boscolo, he is the artist on Cactus Coyote. You folks may be aware he is the artist for Purity Sin, her YouTube channel. She does gaming streams. She also does a comic. He's also the artist for her comic. He has a wonderful pedigree, a wonderful Italian artist, has been working in the illustration industry for a very long time for different, for both animation and comics and so on. Great guy, and I'm really excited to show you actual full pages. I've seen the first 4 inked pages, fully inked and done pages for Cactus Coyote, and oh man, they're wonderful. It's building a great world, very different and similar to Jack's. I'm very excited to show you, goddammit. So what we've got here though is some angles of our main character, Cactus Coyote. The design it's a very the design is simpler than what the mechanics are on him, and that's part of his personality. I always loved the character's design. The Rudolph nose that kind of shoots up, the big rictus grin, the big fuzzy ears, and of course the Looney Tunes style gloves. I love that. Some very cool stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and share that. I'm gonna share it when I have time to share it. Right. So there's kind of some side angles Andrea provided us with. That right there, very important mechanic to Cactus. If you read the manga, you'll see exactly what those are. The little arcade token kind of look there. They help with his shape-shifting, which we're gonna go ahead and look at this second page. And here we go. This is one of his forms. This is Zoot Suit Coyote. Cactus has a dimensional pocket in his stomach. It's massive, and he was used as a garbage disposal by one of the Four Horsemen for a very long time, and that's what turned him into what you see him as. And we get to see what his species was before in Cactus Coyote, and you'll see the very tragic twist that happened to the poor thing, and how he still has a heart, but he's also a complete prick. Very selfish prick. And I love it. Very noodly, very loose, because he's supposed to be noodly and kind of loose. It's a form that's really taxing what his physical body is, so he can do certain things. In the manga, for instance, spoilers if you haven't read it, one of the cool things he does when he switches to this form, the Zoot Suit, is he has a nuclear reactor, a very powerful starship motor, basically what would have been put into a fortress battleship, almost, of the Anu or any of the Four Horsemen's warships that they would be destroying each other and blowing up worlds with. He has one in his stomach, and he's able to, in this form, he's able to wire it into any kind of ship or thing that he's in. And in this case, he wired it into his little tin can vessel, and that's how he tries to escape from somebody with a ridiculous amount of engine power in something so tiny it would be impossible to fit. He basically pulls a Russian nesting egg version of Snoopy's doghouse to escape, and the idea is great. Please check out the manga. If nothing else, even if you don't want it, it's free. There's no worries, or it's $1 if you can't stand that. On top of this, I had to upload the double page spreads vertically instead of horizontally, which did piss me off, in all honesty. But it is what it is. I'm not a great file format. There's a lot of stuff I don't know, but we're getting it done, and we're finding people who do know how to get stuff done, and that's a very small thing compared to what I do know how to get done. So that's Zoot Suit Coyote. A lot of different powers. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of what this form can do. The manga really is just a preview. It tries to give you a vibe and show you what we're doing. The actual Western adaptation will be different. Similar enough, it'll have the same premise in terms of, the characterization is going to be very much the same. The plot is what might be a little bit different, a little bit stretched or twisted, but it gives you the overall tone we want to achieve with this comic. And let's go ahead and do one of the best things. So, if I remember right, Jimmy Palmiotti a while back said he was remembering Steve Dillon. Very prolific Punisher and Garth Ennis he's worked a lot with. His lines were a little simple for me as an artist, but he was able to do the dark humor that Garth demanded in like Welcome Back Frank, and in Jason Aaron also did a very dark humor towards the end of the Punisher Max run to kill Frank, and that was some of Steve Dillon's last work. But Steve Dillon told Jimmy, if you can get the face right and convey the emotion, the rest of the panel is pretty much set. And that helps for sure, and I kind of agree. And this is one of those examples. Andrea's great at implying and injecting personality. And so you're going to have a lot of fun, wacky images, near Looney Tunes feel, in a gritty, very dark hellscape. I'm very much looking forward to it. The 4 pages, again, I've seen already are just wonderful. And, July 29th, folks, coming to Indiegogo. I'll start promoting the preview links and stuff here soon. Was hoping to do that tonight, but I dropped the ball, so here we are. I am very happy to show you folks these. I'm glad he posted these and he got a hold of me. Here's some other preview images. He's done some cool stuff with it. This is from a pinup included in issue number 2 of Jack Iron Steel Cowboy by the pinup was by Troy Torres. Folks will know him as Mr. Marvel on Twitter. Sadly, he has had to adapt, as Mr. Marvel has had to be retired forcefully. But the comics are still coming through him, and I'm very happy that this piece made it into Jack number 2. I hope you folks really like it. I don't know the plans further for the piece, but there's some very cool possibilities down the line. I hope you guys see it. That's from the manga, one of the very cool scenes where he's talking to his literal loan shark. Here's some fan art right there. That is not a typo. Famine Inc. is, folks aware with Jack, they might know Famine Inc. very well with an F. PH Famine Inc. is a whole nother thing, and it's a lot of fun. The concept is great. It's very high concept. Here's our logo again. Here's some more fan art. Wonderful, folks. More fan art that actually ended up being the cover, the manga cover, just because how cool it was. I love the mood in this picture, and it really gave him a unique vibe. Yeah, we have a Peter Samedi piece. I have the original art to this full page. It's the last page of Cactus Coyote, and Dollar Coins sent it to me after he finished as a very sweet gift, and I have it up on my wall. Comics is very important to me now, and I haven't been here that long, but fundamentally the positivity, the interactions, the growth, the creation, the friendships, the brotherhoods, just everything. It's wonderful to be a part of it. Bridge of Faust. There's something more in the works, Cactus Coyote related with this, but this image is one of my favorites that we've had done of Cactus. Just pure personality. Yeah, and I guess that'll do that. I could be on another 10, 12 minutes, folks. I don't know if anybody's here. It looks like it's nice and quiet. I think maybe I will just do that hour long. This is the manga again. I'm going to just scroll through real quick. Honestly, the artistry on the manga was good enough for release, in my opinion. The lettering, be up to you folks to decide. I like it. I did it, though, and I know it's not the best. But I like it, and I think it does. The action scenes in this, too. Very fun. So, it is a manga. Right to left, folks. Right to left if you're reading it. A lot of fun stuff. It was a journey doing this. It kept me busy while we were waiting on stuff. And that's what I meant by the double-page spreads there. I had to twist. It kind of pisses me off. Just even stuff like that. I really think this artistry is good enough for release, so maybe one day you folks will see this released physically as well. Until then, you can enjoy it like this, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun in design, in visual, it pops. He knows how to do this stuff like a manga. A great asset to Team IronVerse Comics, really. A lot to learn, even just setting up shops. He's got a history. Dollar Coins has a little bit of a history in filmmaking and a lot of history in authoring, and I'm very lucky to have his experience on board to help us continue to develop all of what we're doing. A lot of silly things, but you gotta have it. This is all about fun. Cactus Coyote. There's a lot of darkness there, but it's really about injecting this insanity that makes it possible to live in this world as he does, trying to communicate that. There's the coins, where the namesake Dollar Coins probably is coming from at the moment. He's going by a pseudonym, and I respect that. You folks will see most everything Cactus Coyote related will be released under the pseudonym Dollar Coins. And we'll see how that goes down the line. Future's never really set in stone. Really his art, and he did all the word bubbles too. I just did the lettering in them. And a lot of the editing to the words, which I was more heavy-handed than I should have been in a lot of cases. But nonetheless, the artistry even on this was great. Even on this version, if this was what Cactus Coyote was going to be, no matter what, I would have been happy. But we decided a Western adaptation, something that feels more full quality. The character deserved that. The story that's trying to be told deserved that just extra level of effort that we're doing here to give it. And this isn't going anywhere. So it's going to be there for folks to read forever. I love this panel. Freaking adore it. A lot of fun. It's the fun that's missing in Jack. Jack's got the dark humor of Punisher if it comes to fun. It doesn't have this kind of fun. Like this right here. I hope folks understand. He borrowed. This is an homage panel. I hope somebody notices what it homages, because the little things are really what make Cactus Guy. This homages something too, if I remember. it's a fun book. God damn it! I can't wait to get more of it. It really is. It's like that panel too. this joke payoff and setup. just I really hope you folks consider backing it and supporting it like you did Jack. It deserves every bit of the same support we receive. So about 5 minutes. If somebody's in chat, please let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and switch off of this back to where I can see chat. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find anything else. Oh, God. Let me see. I would rather get a better song in the background, too. I doubt you guys can hear it very well. I can't, but I've got headphones on, so but yeah, I want to see if there's anybody actually here. It says people are here, so thank you. Thank you, anybody. I'm just happy you're listening. This is an AMA. I would take harder alcohol shots if folks start asking me questions, and that could keep this going for an hour or so more. I would like to get this. I've been doing an hour and a half the last couple weeks. Viewership is what it is. It's not bad for how tiny a channel this is. In all honesty, it's fine. And the content's continuously getting pushed. That's the point. If I can get this every week, even if I don't have too much to say, I'm happy. I want to be creating content, supporting Team IronVerse Comics, pushing our collective visions as far forward as possible, as often as possible, however we can. It's hard out there, and you got to stand out. And IronVerse Comics is planning to deliver, and in my opinion, is already delivering on this premise of being the best weird Western comics in the industry. That's a hell of a thing to say. A lot of pros would rightfully be pissed for me saying it, but I gotta have a little bit of arrogance here. It's certainly the most beautiful. I think I even told a pro that I think it's the most beautiful apocalypse in comics. It didn't go over poorly, but I certainly didn't get more communication after that. I don't mind being a little arrogant when I have such a wonderful team. Yeah. In fact, I kind of need to be because, again, you gotta be strong. You gotta stand out. You gotta push your beliefs in your projects as hard as you can. Keep that feet under you moving. So Cactus Coyote, July 29th, we'll start running this campaign. I'm going to be grinding it like I did Jack. Hopefully throughout July we'll be shipping Jack Irons #2. It does have that pinup in it as kind of a taste. I believe we'll also be including another extra Cactus Coyote related like I did with issue 1 of Jack's bonuses, the digital stuff. We have a lot of extra there. There's something pretty cool I'm talking to Wicked about maybe including with the shipments or maybe including separately after the shipments. We'll see how that goes. A lot of good plans for you wonderful folks who got us here, that's for sure. And to try and reward your patience for dealing with us on these speed bumps. Jack's campaign got a lot of love at the beginning, and that love hasn't diminished. We've been able to avoid serious drama. We've been able to avoid being what we don't want to be simply because the environment demands you to be that horrible thing. I'm so happy we were able to make it as far as we have. If we can get Cactus to where we got Jack, I think we're in business. It's not a low. It's going to be a higher initial goal than the Jack Irons 2 campaign. But the Jack Irons 2 campaign was very much a cowboy campaign. It was done very loosely. It was done. Plans shifted more than most campaigns during the campaign. Things that were not built into the campaign were offered later into the campaign. Not that far into it. But there was a lot of again, cowboy mentality. We got to do it our way to make it happen. I'm blessed folks actually have been willing to go along with that ride. Particularly our international backers. There's not a huge amount, but there's enough, and they've been waiting near a year now for any content besides the digital bonuses and digital #1 at Jack. So those folks in particular, I want to give a hearty thank you for your patience. The fact that we're going to be shipping this book worldwide in a lot of places, hitting a lot of countries. You know, that's so fun for me. Because books, art affects people, and getting this book around the world, who knows what can happen. Who knows what it can mean to somebody. Who knows? You know, it doesn't have to be good either, but I am certainly excited to find out. I really want to get these books out, especially because between issue 1 of Jack and issue 2 of Jack, there's about 4 years of progress on Maxie's lines and my writing, and I think it shows in the book. It's more stylistic than issue 1 was. Issue 1 had a wonderful look, a wonderful style, and Matthias Laborde's colors were incredible on it and brought that book to popping life. But with issue number 2, I think we hit what Jack's supposed to be. What will leave him, will allow him to leave a very strong impression in the minds of his readers and fans. I can't wait to get it out. People sick of me. I want to share this. I want to know what people think. We worked really hard on this, and I know I adore the art. I know the art is very beautiful, and people do enjoy that. But what about my writing? Did I flub this? Is the story structure fine? Do you have a fun ride? Did I hook you for the next issue? Does my writing crowd some pages, or do I put too little on some pages? How's my pacing? All these things. Issue number 1 had terrible pacing issues, mainly because I was literally trying to put you in Jack's head. This one, you're less in Jack's head and more listening to him telling a story, which you were in issue 1, but he was presenting it more as a drunken ramblings, whereas this one is still drunken ramblings and still memories. But I think I hit the pacing better, and I think I unfold the storybook in a much more acceptable and much more clear and concise pace. But I don't know. I just have my team's opinions on it, and they loved it, but who knows? Who knows? It's a rookie effort on my end. I could say maybe after the first arc, I can stop saying it's a rookie effort, and then I can say it's a novice effort after this first arc of Jack. But that's why I'm trying to collect many teams, many opinions, many voices, many different talents, and trying to forge a comic book near kind of a comic book studio, honestly, that has one goal, and that's to manifest the IronVerse into reality and get these characters into space and then into pop culture. We'll see how that goes. Till then, thank you for supporting indie comics, particularly ours, but indie comics overall. I've been going for an hour. Nobody's really in chat. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple little promos. I'll go for another 5 to 10 just to see if I can kick anybody into here. Get the AMA part going and see if I can get it going. It looks like advertising the campaign with the character models actually just now while we're watching, not through the YouTube in particular, but the fact that they went up today. He's getting a lot more follows on Instagram, which is great. We need the help, and he's been able to take that part of the marketing for Cactus and really run with it. Thank God. I barely have mastered. I barely have a understanding of how to work on Twitter without getting in trouble, without setting myself up for future failure, which a lot of indie creators are doing right now, and that really bugs me. I really hope it works out for them, but here I'm looking down the barrel of the same gun they are, and I don't know why they're running at it. But you know, if it works, it works. Good for them. I just hope with IronVerse Comics we can keep the focus on positivity, on the love of the medium, on the love of creation, and eventually on the fandom enjoying what we're doing and trying to put out the best books for them and for ourselves that we can. I'm super happy to hear that from Cactus, though, that the posts have gotten a lot of traction and he's getting a lot of followers. That's freaking great. Happy about that. Let's see. Nothing else important there. Again, Monday, printer proof will be shipped. Now that I have confirmation, I should expect that. It's usually, I think they do overnight, so I should have it Tuesday. I should be able to pick it up before work, too, which is nice. If I can wake up early enough, I might even be able to get images of the printer proof. At least to the team. Last time, I'm superstitious, to say the least. That's not the most apt term I'll use, but it's the most general term. You folks will understand where I'm coming from. And so with issue number 1, I did not reveal the cover until the first backer received it and revealed the cover. I want to do the same with Jack Irons 2. I want to preserve that magic for the opener. I want that surprise still be there. It's a very tiny thing. It may be completely insignificant, and it may be hindering our marketing possibilities. But if you can blow somebody away by something they didn't expect, that leaves an impression that can't be left another way. For instance, when I was marketing issue number 1, though I didn't show the cover, I showed every page as it got colored, so I was showing content. That was a mistake that I'm seeing a lot of indie creators, especially the new ones who are doing their first campaigns, doing. Panel previews. Surprise your readers. Leave them with something to be like, oh wow, I didn't see that, that's so cool. So not only did I see all these cool previews that already had me interested, but there were layers I didn't get to see till I had the book. You know, for me as a comic book collector and as a reader, that's one of the most important things I can try and preserve for our audience if I can. Right on, thank you. Dollars going through our various campaigns and promoting the stream right now. So I'm going to let him do that for us and see if anybody else wants to come in, say hi, ask some questions, ask what I've been talking about, ask about our future plans with Cactus Coyote, ask about the future of IronVerse Comics, ask what the other titles are, ask who the other titles have attached. There's so much I can talk about. There always is. I love this currently hobby. But it's a hard-working hobby. You gotta work at it. Another thing I guess I'm gonna mention is with Cactus Coyote, the only to show how much. Let me see. How do I phrase this? So with Jack, the campaign's funds entirely went to the book and to funding our incredible art team. Same thing with Cactus Coyote. I think he's going to recoup some of his costs. He was gracious enough to invest on these pages before release, because he believes in the project and he believes in IronVerse Comics and he believes in our fandom and what we're trying to build. Jack, I was able to get a whole book done and invested in that. Again, I've been very blessed. I can't tell you the amount of luck, which Dollar Coins doesn't believe in, but I do. Different terms for it, I can say, but yeah, the amount of luck I personally have had as a creator to get things done, to allow things to manifest, is just wonderful. But not everybody can do that. And I was able to recoup my costs and pay back the loans and such that I had to do to get issue 1's line art done. And then I was able to color issue 1 and produce issue 2 with the campaign. And thanks to Wicked, I didn't have to worry about printing or shipping costs. But the rest of that business end, there's other angles I had to learn, and there's a cost for everything. But again, just so fortunate. IronVerse Comics really got some good I'm gonna use the term karma, you folks, if you know, however you want to do it. It's got some good energy. It's got some angels behind it. Whatever terminology you want to put behind. And I'm very grateful for that. Cactus Coyote is one of those proofs, and I'm very much hoping that with the campaign and with what we're offering, you'll see that we can. That's not going anywhere. It's just gonna snowball. And we're just going to get more and more growth, more and more out there, and just keep it on going. So, yeah, if anybody's in chat with questions, I'd very much appreciate a couple. That would also convince me to go get a shot, and or at least chug the beer. Because I've had this other beer here sitting waiting to be opened, and I didn't finish this first one, and that's kind of bugging me. So I think I'm going to find some kind of song I don't mind putting on for a minute and go from there. So I guess I'll run. Well, no, that's what I do for the ending track. I don't want to run that. Put this on. You guys are gonna have to deal with it. These tracks, I'm not sure how. Each of my live streams, I really am testing fair use. I don't know. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't know the rules. I don't know the lay of the land. I try to find songs that are already taking advantage of fair use and then use them. So, you know, covers, things like that. A few of these I don't know. And I don't know algorithms. And luckily, this channel's tiny. It's itty bitty. So I doubt they really fucking care. And I find it kind of important to have some music in the background, just for my own sanity at this point. I love it for promotional purposes because of Laguna. Love the man, and I also appreciate being able to take a break and take a shot or whatever during the stream. I'll promote. It's a great way to fill time. But again, you know, folks, anybody watching this later when comments are ready, or if you're watching it now, let me know what you think. Is my mic quality too shit? Is my balance shit? Can you not hear the music and you want to? Is the music choice poor? I appreciate feedback. It's the only way I can grow. Laguna did show up. Thanks, brother. I'm glad you're around. Yeah, Laguna Munta. Again, I threw up his the music video for Every Time I Blink, so go ahead and watch that, and then subscribe, and then go buy his debut album on pretty much any of your favorite music platforms. Plugs Out. Just look up Laguna Munta, Plugs Out, and I bet you'll find a link to, say, Spotify or Apple Music or something that you can download the songs if you enjoy it. And thanks to that, I guess I'll put on another one of his songs since I'm promoting it. And I'm going to chug a beer. Chug the rest of this beer because it's starting to get warm too. And warm cerveza is better than a lot of warm beers, but I'm a cold beer man. I'd much rather keep it cold. So I want to finish this one and open the cold one. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you so much for listening, as always. I'll be back a little bit. Not sure exactly what we'll talk about. Maybe some more folks will be here by that point. But let's go with Laguna Munta. We're going to go with a song I'll dedicate to Famine Inc., purveyors of the finest suffering, cyborg enhancements, and eternal toil comics have to offer. Famine Inc., toil is life, and life is Famine Inc. This is Money People by Laguna Munta. Go ahead and throw him some cash, folks. Thank you, Laguna. And yes, of course, please, if you're here listening, please subscribe. Hit that like button down below. Leave a comment. You know, all those YouTuber catchphrases that we probably at this point don't need to remind people, but if you don't say it, you don't have the chance of triggering somebody to be like, yeah, you know what, I'll go do that. So here you go. Money People, Laguna Munta, from his debut album Plugs Out, available on most of your favorite digital music distribution services. And go ahead, if you like it, buy it. You know, if you like the artist, make sure to support them. Indie music, indie comics, very hard industries. And we're working our asses off to get you the best we can. Thank you for being here, and I'll be right back. Enjoy the tune. Wanna mention the hills.
Some people have all the fun popping champagne and pills. I just like to keep things together, that's good enough for me. Some people want a maid and $1 million too. I just want $2,000 in 3 days and you'd see what I could do. Oh, it all just sounds so simple, but nothing's for free. Gotta give me a portfolio and someone to manage it. Get told by a man in a suit about all the good things I can get. Talk about buying a mansion, I'd have enough for two. But that's just a money thing that money people do. That money people do. Say the word! I've got a new lease on life, you got a lease on your car. Yeah, it's really looking nice, but you could drive it far. But it's just another thing hanging over your head. Well, I drive an old pickup truck, got it when I finished school. No, it don't look like the prettiest thing, but I own it in full. And I won't be playing it off until the day I'm through. That's just a money thing. That's just a money thing. That's just a money thing that money people do. Count 'em. That's just a money thing. That's just a money thing. That's just a money thing that money people do. That money people do. Show me the money.
All right, I'm back. I wasn't paying attention to the timer there, but and I didn't finish the beer. Goddamn, I drank about half of it though. Anyway, I'm back, folks. I'm back. I noticed a couple more people showed up in. Zero Fox is a very, very IronVerse Comics, a very talented letterer, and well, he did the extras gallery in issue number 2 very well too. The pinups he set up, it's just wonderful work, Zero Fox. Very, very proud to have him on team. He's pulled our butts out of the fire a few goddamn times, and mine almost quite literally a few times. So thanks for showing, brother. Thanks for showing. Super stoked to always have somebody from Team IronVerse on in here. Merc, thank you for showing. Glad to see you here, brother. Go ahead and give Zero some moderate powers. There you go. You now have the power of the wrench, Zero. Use it wisely. Oh, is it echoey? See, I didn't know. Is it terribly echoey, folks? Ugh, my mic's not great. I'll tell you that much. My mic is not great. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down, and then I didn't know. Was it terribly echoey? I could see that. I could 100% see it being cruddy. Sorry about that, Zero. I'm gonna have to listen to it. Maybe it's the mic. I don't know. I have a couple mics. I actually got a really good one from a friend of mine that he used to record like Grateful Dead shows and shit with. It's a hidden mic. And, I gotta find a way to mount it and use it. It's horrible. Huh, Laguna's not getting echo. Weird. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry to say that, Zero. Maybe it's my connection. Maybe it's your connection. I don't know if there's anything I can do on my end, especially if not everybody's hearing it like that. It just sucks though, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I want the stream quality to at least be listenable. That would do it, Zero. That would do it. All right, cool. Good. It wasn't on my end. That makes sense. Yeah, I've done that before too. You click play on Twitter just to open it, and then you click on the YouTube, and then you forget you're playing it on Twitter. I've done that. No harm, no foul there. I'm just glad it's not on my end, because it's been a while trying to get this set up nice and clean and figuring out the ritual, basically, fucking to please the machine spirit of all this shit. OBS's machine spirit, YouTube's machine spirit, they all need pleasing constantly. Looks like I'm peeking out too. God damn it, let me see if I can fix that. It is peeking out here. It's probably pretty fuzzy for you guys since I've been speaking out. Sorry, that was a test. Okay, so I turned me down. Hopefully it won't peak so much, and hopefully it won't crackle on your end. Okay, cool. So Merc confirms it was definitely the Twitter shenanigans for Zero. That's good. Cool. Stream Elements, one of the many Stamine loyal bots that service IronVerse comics. So he went ahead and dropped the Cactus Coyote manga again. I spoke about that earlier quite a bit. That was about the first hour of the show. Let's see, is there anything else? I can reiterate, or I can go back to showing it. Again, though, thank you guys for showing. Always happy to see this come up. This can be the AMA part. If you guys have any questions about anything, that's the point. You can ask me anything. Go ahead and do so. The Famine bot went ahead and dumped our merch link. Wonderful stuff. A lot of it really was adapted by Zero Fox too for shirts. I own about 6 Jack Iron shirts myself. I gotta love my own brand, of course. There's some wonderful stuff there. There's a few Cactus Coyote pieces there too, if you folks are interested. We've got all kinds of merch. T-shirts are just the start. We got mugs. In fact, I had coffee out of my Jack Irons mug right before the stream. And I wore a crossover Rags Jack Iron shirt today, ballooning. It's good luck. It supports the IronVerse, and it proves that we are continuing to do something of value. And that little extra. Okay, thank you, Zero. That's good to know. Music is overpowering, because I did just turn myself down, and I didn't turn down desktop audio, so my balance might be screwed. Thank you for telling me. I'm gonna leave it here. I am peeking out into the yellow and red though, so if I get crackly, let me know. And I guess I'll knock down desktop audio just ever so slightly more. Make sure I don't get over blasted, because yeah. So that's a Merry Christmas. I don't know. A lot of this is random. Let's see. I'll throw on. Yes, that'll work. I just need it in the background, some kind of something. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully I got that balance better. It should be. Watching the levels, and I should be about twice the level of the music at this point. So hopefully that's enough. Again, I'm not a broadcaster. I'm certainly not a YouTuber. And oh boy, am I trying. It's fun though. It was fun figuring out all this stuff. It was way easier than I thought it would be. Right on. Thank you, Zero. I really want to dial it in so I can stop having to worry about it every time, and I can just open up the program and go. I've gotten close to that. but also I kind of there's a lot of playing with it. Like when I want you guys to hear the music because I'm gone, I got to kind of play with the volume and VLC and such. So there's an art, and I just need to practice it more. Let's see. Something worth showing you. So I guess I'll show you folks again. He actually had to repost. Dollar Coins had to repost the Instagram shots that kind of announced Cactus Coyote. So I'm going to go ahead and re-show those to you folks. For anybody who's just joining us, since the action kind of kicked up just a minute ago. And I'll talk about the artist again real quick. I'll talk about the plans again real quick, because this is the next step. This is the next step in IronVerse Comics. And then after that, it's Jack 3 and our third title, Tracker Top Predator. And oh man, am I excited for Tracker as well. Hopefully line art for that will start here in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. The artist attached is part of Team IronVerse, Vince Rushart. He's a gem. Wonderful kid. I'm super blessed to have him on our team here, and he's working on something else. And I know he's in on it, but I want to make sure he has the time. There's no rush for Tracker like there is for what he's doing now. So, fate willing, timing will work out like it has for almost every other IronVerse project. There'd be speed bumps, and the timing might have to be its timing, and you can't really rail against it, and you got to be patient. But I think it'll happen. So let me use OBS here. Use OBS here and go ahead and switch. The levels might change, so let me know if the voice changes. I think I have this dialed in, though. I really do. I have it dialed in for gaming on this page, so hopefully it's still about where it should be. So, today we announced that we're going to start advertising the campaign, which will launch July 29th. These are character concepts. Well, they're not really concepts. They're finals. This is how he looks in the book. We're doing both colored and black and white versions. Kind of how we're going to try and do with all the IronVerse comics. One of my hopes is to do like a big black and white anthology trade paperback IronVerse thing that collects the first issues of everything, or the first minis of everything, into one big book, one graphic novel, trade paperback kind of thing before we finish any of the arcs. And that can be people's introduction to everything we're trying to do. But, I'm very open. I'm very adaptive. All I know is I want to make all of this happen, and I'm going to do my damnedest to do so. And it's one step at a time, and so far we've been doing it right. Okay, so the artist for Cactus Coyote, to reiterate for folks who did not see the first half of this little stream, is Andrea Boscolo from Italy. If you folks are familiar with the YouTube gaming streaming channel Purity Sin, he does her channel art, and he has also done a comic for her. He has a wonderful pedigree in terms of experience in the illustration and animation industries. And he was kind of a perfect fit for Cactus, just because Cactus is basically is Looney Tunes in a dystopian hellscape. And it's a lot of fun. I'm super excited to see his the shrunken dog version from Andrea, because I've seen I love the little dog version of Cactus. He's probably one of my favorite character models in all of IronVerse, honestly. It's freaking adorable, but he's still smug little shit. And I just love the character Dollar Coins put into him, and I can't wait to see Andrea's interpretation of that. But this is his neutral stance. This is what he'd be walking around dealing with people as. This is Cactus Coyote. I always love the reindeer nose and the rictus smile and such. It's a very fun character design. It's very relatable in terms of it's not wacky. It's very much a Looney Tunes kind of looking character, just like Jax very much just looks like a cowboy. You want the basic relationship, and then you take that and twist it into this weird Western hellscape. That's what IronVerse Comics does. That's what all 5 titles are doing. And I hope we can continue to succeed on that. So this is the basic bit from Andrea. It's just great work. I'm super stoked about that. So let me go to this. I was showing through the manga earlier, so you get to see what this means more in the story if you go back and read our 40-page free manga. The link is in chat in a couple places. I dropped it, and Stream Elements dropped it. Go ahead and read it, folks, if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun, and it's free. If you guys really want to see it in its most pristine HD form, join our Patreon or join our Subscribe Star and just shoot us $1. You can just shoot us $1 and then leave, and I'll still get you a... at the moment, I think I can just get you a link to the loose pages, but I'm working on getting it into a PDF. I have no talent on compiling PDFs, and double-page spreads I just don't understand how to do. So I actually have... there are some folks helping me with that, so hopefully that'll manifest soon. But priorities. It'll happen. But for now, we can hook you up with that if you really want to read it in its best possible form. It's very cheap, and we'd appreciate it. We'd appreciate even more if you stick with us on Patreon. But do what you can, and you know what? Retweets, watching, listening, engaging, supporting, critiquing. Thank you. You know, any kind of interaction with what we're trying to do is means the world to me. This is part of the reason why we call him a shapeshifter. He swallows very specific coins, and they allow him to take different shapes and utilize his very unique body in ways that basically no other alien in IronVerse can do. In particular, this one allows him to utilize things in his stomach, his massive Snoopy's doghouse, Doctor Who's TARDIS-style stomach, where you can just put it's massive when it shouldn't be. In the manga, he does something very cool with that I did spoil earlier. So if you've been watching the beginning, you know what happens. If not, go ahead and read it and enjoy and see what you think. But this is just one of his many forms, and I'm super excited to explore them all. That's why he's a shapeshifter. But there are other shapeshifters in IronVerse that are more actual shapeshifters in terms of their, more the Odo kind of shapeshifter from Deep Space Nine. He's just a creature who has a bunch of different shapes he can assume due to the horrible circumstances of his current existence. But yeah, Andrea's doing wonderful, giving these... giving Cactus the extra layer of personality, particularly in these faces. I spoke last time I was looking at this during the stream about Steve Dillon, talking about if you can nail the face and emotion in a panel, you pretty much nailed the panel. And yeah, Andrea is extremely talented at that. Cactus's design allows a lot of fun looks, and it is it's different enough from Jack to attract a different audience, and it's similar enough to be cohesive with everything and for anybody to enjoy it just like Jack, hopefully. Jack's going to be a little bit heavier, a little bit harsher, a little bit more grounded in realism, whereas this is more of a sci-fi adventure. And the goal, really, these are the two goalposts of IronVerse that we're going to jam together to form the final machine. And Cactus is space, Jack is Earth. Once they meet, IronVerse is off to the races, and we'll see how that goes. Not in terms of the two characters meeting. I'm not sure when or how we're going to approach that. There's a lot of... I've read a few of some scripts that actually involve that, and they're very cool, but got to get there. And I think each of our titles actually needs to finish an arc before we even get to crossover. So we'll see. But I'm super excited. July 29th, folks, if you have the extra funds, please consider supporting us. If we can get this funded very quickly, early, if we can hit that goal quickly, it would really allow me to lighten up on how hard I'm going to have to push the campaigns like I did with Jack. With Jack, it was down to the races to really get funded for a while there. And then it was still a push. It's still going to be a massive, unlimited push, and you guys won't hear the end of me if you're in any of my social media circles. You're going to get you'll get a reminder of last year if you've been around that long. But I'd very much like to be able to do two things with this. I'd like to be able to continue working on furthering Jack and getting its next campaign set and ready, and be able to heavily market this book. The good thing is I'm just going to be a slight editorial most likely, and marketing. So I don't have to worry about the creation. I don't have to worry about maintaining the communication with the artists. I don't have to maintain a lot of things that I have to with Jack. And that should free me to be able to get more balls in the air, hopefully, and juggle this properly. I'm going to go ahead and skip this Nightcore song here. It's just, it's taken... it certainly was imposing upon me, so I'm assuming it was imposing upon the audience as well. Okay, let's see. Let's see. All right, levels are better, music's fainter, easier to hear you. Yeah, with video games, when I was trying to stream and record with this, man, did the desktop audio just blow me away. I recorded the damn thing. I put like an hour of gameplay into the same game, like 4 times, thinking I had the audio right. Oh boy. So, I tweaked this right, I think. And at the moment I have it down, so that's good. Yeah, so Zero Fox says he likes the little dog version better too. I just find it's cute, and it's a great contrast to Jack. Cactus Coyote is the perfect contrast to Jack, while still existing on the same coin. And I'm so excited for this part. It's been a long time coming. I enjoy the campaign trail because it demands so much of my creativity and so much of my interaction, and it forces me to reach out to places I'm not used to, and to meet new people, and to impress upon them what we're trying to do, and to you know, it's very hard, it's very demanding, and it's so rewarding and so fun. And I'm really looking forward to getting back on that part of the saddle, because the creation grind, though absolutely wonderful when things are rolling and you're getting content in, is just so awful when it hits the point where you're done or you can't do anything more until A happens, until B happens. You know, it's makes it rough. But this is our first little teaser. This is a teaser. Andrea Buscolo, Dollar Coins, Cactus Coyote, the shiftiest and shadiest Cactus Coyote, coming July 29th to Indiegogo. Please consider supporting IronVerse Comics. Please consider supporting their work. And I can't wait to show you more and more of the pages. I'm going to let Dollar Coin kind of roll those out as he goes. Haha, looks like maybe he had to redo them again. Let me see. Oh no, it was just different. Alright, so anywho, this is one of our earlier pinups from Dollar Coins, involving one of the later arcs, involving a literal war machine. I'm excited for that issue, and you find out who this is, because in the manga she's already been introduced, this character, and she's exceedingly powerful. One thing you'll notice with the IronVerse characters, I think there's only one that is extremely powerful. The rest are very much plucky. They're up against things they have no business going up against in terms of their power, and I'm very impressed by that. So here's some more preview images. I spoke about this earlier too. I hate to reiterate for people who already have seen this or listened earlier, but it's wonderful work, and this is the topic tonight, was Cactus Coyote. I'm super excited for it to move forward. This is a very small section of a pinup done by Troy Torres, also known as Mr. Marvel. You'll see it in issue 2 of Jack Irons the Steel Cowboy. If you didn't back that campaign, hopefully the public releases of both the digital and the physical copies will be coming shortly after the backer release of issue number 2. That's up to Wicked Publishing and myself to work out after we get everything to our backers, who have been extremely patient. Another logo by the extremely talented Zero Fox. It's our current working logo. The logo for Famine Inc. Yes, PH Famine Inc. is something else. I also spoke about that already. Showed this fan art already. Another logo by the wonderfully talented Zero Fox. The fan art that became the cover of the manga of Cactus Coyote. Bridge of Faust, one of the first real promotional pieces we've commissioned of Cactus Coyote. Hopefully I'll be able to, once we've got the preview of the campaign up, I'll be able to speak more about his involvement on the project. And there's little doggy Coyote. I have this page hanging up on my wall. Again, already said that earlier. Don't care. New folks are here. They need to hear it too. So, I'm going to open it up to an AMA for the next 20 minutes or so. Try and hit that 20-minute mark if I can. So please, if you got any questions about Cactus Coyote as a character, the universe, the story, please go ahead and put that in. Yeah, I'm going to allow that, Gorgonite, because it is very true. Zero Fox says, rest in peace, Troy on Twitter. He has representation on Twitter if you folks know where to look. He's not unreachable. But I can... it's very unfortunate. He is a very outspoken individual. He put his effort, he puts his mind out there, and he puts his mind and his art out there. And yeah, the shitpost agenda never dies, but it certainly can be knocked on its ass. And sadly, he came. Somebody went looking for something, and they found it. And I don't know how the appeal's going for him, but honestly, I don't know if that's going to happen. So yeah, Mr. Marvel has passed into legend, but the talented Troy Torres isn't going anywhere. And I'm super excited to see the work coming out of Science Wizard Comics. I'm excited for my copies of Wanpool. Yeah, Zero. I try to be tactful. I very much try to pick my words, even though I tend to repeat them like very much. But yeah, outspoken, I'm going to put there. You know what? The world needs outspoken artists, and we need platforms where that outspoken nature will not be beaten away. And they exist, but they exist under the foot of much more powerful things in the same, with competition. The competition is just too much. Oh, Gorgonite. Again, Gorgonite, it's not too hard to find him if you need him. I am unsure where his status on commissions. I know Science Wizard Comics and its founder, Morden Knight, Josh the Amazing Animator, publisher of Wanpool, his commissions are open. And if you want Troy, maybe try him. I don't think Josh is going anywhere. Our wonderful snow monkey. He also has a pinup. He colored a pinup in Jack Irons issue number 2. Josh did. His texture work is incredible. I can't wait for folks to see that pinup. Bruce Patnaud did the line art, and Vince Rush did the inking. It's a very unique piece. And they did another piece for the Wanpool campaign, that team. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with the Jack Irons community pinups. I wanted to connect artists who may not have connected and worked together otherwise. And I'm happy another piece got out of it. Going to go through, yep, shitpost agenda never dies, that's true. You just got to walk the line with it a little bit tighter if you want it to stick around. Gorgonite, as I said, try Josh and Science Wizard Comics to contact him. Let's see. Question about Cactus. He was originally a garbage disposal for famine. How was he created? He was not a garbage disposal for famine. He was a garbage disposal for plague. So he dealt more in biological waste than he dealt in, say, corporate parts or... Famine would rather dig a hole and throw a bunch of bodies into it. It's more practical. He wouldn't go through an elaborate case to make something to solve a need when he can do it very simply. Let's see. Okay, so I'll get to that in a second, Zero. How was he created? Plague is very much into genetic engineering, and he found a alien species he took interest in that had a very unique property, and he stole a few, and Cactus happened to be one of them. And it destroyed his mentality. It destroyed who and what he was before. And when he escaped, that mania was left with him, and he became something unique. No longer truly part of what he was before, but also not what he was created to be. And it's a very common thread in IronVerse comics, dealing with your own unique existence and pushing forward the fact that each individual is unique. It's part of my belief system very much, but it's not heavy-handed, I hope. It's just a matter of fact. You'll just feel it through the stories. I'm not beating you over the head with diversity as strong. It's not about a collective of individuals. It's about that one person's story because they matter as themselves, not as part of some marginalized group. But anywho, I'm excited. Now, Zero Fox asked a question I did answer a little bit earlier. But I'll answer it again because, you know, the Team IronVerse is asking it. The estimated time on arrival on Jack Irons proofs. I had hoped it was today. It was not today. The printer's a couple days behind. Monday, hopefully he will be shipping them. That was the date. And so far he's been good about once he actually gives you a set day, he does it. So I was given June 28th as an estimate, and I was working with it as a fact. And that was my bad. It came from a good place. I really want this thing to be done in two folks ASAP, and it came from a hope that maybe for once we can hit that schedule. But so if it ships Monday, it's an overnight shipping. It's quite expensive, and I'm very appreciative of Wicked for doing that. So hopefully I'll have it Tuesday morning, if not Tuesday evening, Tuesday afternoon, and if not then, because I don't actually have a mailbox that people deliver to. I have a P.O. box. And so out here in the sticks, they close at 4:30, and I get out of work at 5:30 sometimes. So I miss being able to get the package. So there's a possibility it'll be Wednesday, which pisses me off. But next week the fucker starts printing if the proof was good enough to send out in the first place, which I would assume... you know, if it looks terrible, he won't send it out, and he'll go through and fix it, and we'll work out what we can. But I'm assuming we did everything right, and it's ready to go, and it's going to look good printed. I'm hoping the new file formats, I'm hoping the file format that we try this time show the colors truer, because Steve Cannon's work on this is just wonderful. It's perfect Western coloring. It's perfect cyberpunk coloring, and it's a perfect combination of the two. Perfect IronVerse coloring. I can't wait to show folks what we did. I'm so proud of it. But we'll see. We'll see if I held up my end in the public eye. Let's see. Chat. That's not a bad Merc. I might have. I get confused myself. I might have mentioned he was famine. But no, it's Plague. He was genetically engineered. He's, there's so many subtleties in the construction of IronVerse comics and the IronVerse. There's so many little connections. I could spoil them, and you'd be like, oh, I see. But, I'm hoping you get that as you're reading the books as they come out. So I don't want to talk too much more on the overall structure. Merc, you have access to the compendium as a moderator on our Discord, and also as a possible developer on a game for IronVerse. So tabletop game. So you know, always feel free to check out the compendium. It's the most accurate. I don't know how up to date it is currently, but it's the most accurate information on what we're overall trying to build. And I think you'll start to see what I mean by the connections between our... I don't want to ruin it, but you'll see. And it'll make it clearer and less difficult to confuse some things as they start coming out. So we'll see. Mainly Cactus, I think, in the first arc deals with the Anu Confederation and the Five Fingers, which is the criminal organization of Spinneroo. But I don't want to speak too far on that. I have read the 10 issues, but it's been a while, and as I've said many times, I'm forgetful. Like, it'll be logged in my memory, but I can't freaking recall it until I'm reminded. So, yeah, that's always fun. Let's see. My bot's doing its job, but again, it's a little frequent. Please do follow us. Right now, I have what it's linking you to is directly to the Jack Irons Twitter account, which is where I do like 90% of the promotion for everything. But there's a few others. There's at IronVerse Alert, which is our Horseman parody account, kind of what it is. It's a promotional account with a hard line stance on cruel capitalism. So that's kind of fun. Then there's Cactus at Coyote Cactus, which you can follow directly information of Cactus Coyote in that release. That'll probably become much more hoppin' as we get to releasing the campaign and promoting it. And that's where you can find dollar coins. Also, I have a link in the bio. My pinned tweet on my Twitter feed is a link to everybody in Team IronVerse Comics. So please, if you're not following that, or if you haven't seen that, go to that for me and follow everybody. Many of them are working on their own comic projects besides IronVerse stuff that is so much worth your time too. And they're just incredible talents. And as far as I can tell, none of them will be filling your timeline with anything but wonderful art and comic love. So please go ahead and check them out. Check out everybody in Team IronVerse. A wonderful group of folks. And we'll be adding to that group as we go. Already with the Cactus Coyote team, we've added a new member in Andrea Buscolo. And I'm hoping as we get the colorists lined up for it, which we have a few balls in the air for, we'll add another. 5 titles, it could be up to 20 people in Team IronVerse Comics, depending on who's doing what and how many multi-talented individuals we can get, and how much of their time we can demand and pay for. So, keep on supporting us. So let me see, go through chat again. Oh, nice. So Merck's plans are he's working to get a better PC together. I understand that struggle. I'm blessed this one's been working as long as it has, and that I have a backup, God forbid, if this gave me trouble again like it did with that OS not too long ago. Sadly, this thing's so damn old. If I put Windows 10 on it, it doesn't work. I mean, Windows 10 works, but like games don't work. It doesn't like the processor. So I had to put Windows 7 back on. I'm used to Windows 7. I like Windows 7, but it's becoming completely obsolete, and that's bugging the hell out of me. So eventually I'm going to have to upgrade to a computer that has a better processing compatibility and a bit more balls. I'd love to stream some more of the advanced, more graphically demanded titles. So far I've been able to find out if it's about Xbox original generation, I can stream it fine. And so I have a couple games lined up for that. Once I feel like either streaming the games or recording them, I'm really unsure how I want to go about it. I think a game stream would be fun, but it would be very hard to keep interesting if there's nobody in chat. It's just talking to myself, commenting the game. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm entertaining enough for it either. So we'll see. Try a gaming stream here soon enough when I have the willpower. But cool, yeah, Merc, no worries. It's just bringing it up. I appreciate it, and wanted to remind you have access to the compendium if you want to take a look at it. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. He wants to do some 3D modeling for the tabletop. We have some fun characters you could use for it if you did a skirmish type game or whatever. But yeah, folks, keep an eye on Cactus Coyote. That's our next thing. Jack 1 and 2. That's always that. Once that's out, that's never gonna not be being promoted. And Jack 3 will be maybe partially during Cactus Coyote's campaign if we can get it funded and blow past its goal to the point where we're like, yeah, we can ease off a little. Then I'll work on Jack. But I didn't want anything Jack related to step on Cactus. He needs the best spotlight and the best effort Team IronVerse Comics can give the character, because it really is another cornerstone of what we're trying to build as an overall story, as an overall work, as an overall collective, as an overall. I'm going to continue using the studio and the term studio until I can find a better one. But yeah, we'll see when I can get the business ends of that all nailed down too. That'll be a lot of fun. In all honesty, learning all of these things has been a trial and so damn rewarding. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting us and allowing me to do it. Now, does anybody want me to take a shot real quick and listen to some music? Or would you rather me answer your question, Gorgonite? I would rather answer your question. How did the idea of Cactus Coyote originate? And how many prototypes did it go through? Oh, wow, those are some good questions, man. What I'm going to do is I'm going to think on that. I'm going to finish what I'm drinking here. I wanted to open this other beer. Still cold, so I'm lucky. So I'm going to finish this one. I'll get to the next one, and then I'll get to your question, brother. And thank you, folks, for being here. I'll be right back. We're just going to finish whatever's running here. Hopefully it's not too bad of a song. All right. I think I'm done burping too, so I should. Nope, no, I'm not. Excuse me. All right. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me. But you know, you don't come to a drinking live stream not expecting a burp here and there, so deal with it, and my manners will hopefully improve as we go. All right. So, how did Cactus Coyote originate, and how many prototypes? So, I guess I'll start from the beginning. I started making IronVerse, or what would become IronVerse. It didn't have that name. It had nothing of that. About a decade ago in high school, when I first discovered comics and what I could do in them, and that I enjoyed writing in a script format much more than I enjoyed writing in prose, in normal novel format. So my original idea was a heavy metal themed superhero group. We'd have a steel cowboy, we'd have a golden monk, we'd have a silver soldier, we'd have a platinum knight, and I always wanted an alien representative of the Anu, because the Anu had been an idea forever. They're a very important part of the story. That there was a group that was holding back the Horsemen from just exterminating all of mankind. It was a very huge plot hole. I had to find something to fill, and we just happened to be able to fill that with an awesome story device, an awesome setting, an awesome way to even include characters and themes that are very Old West, and also very, very topical, very political, and IronVerse Comics, a lot of it's a thought piece. So that's what I mean by political. I'm proposing questions. I'm not giving the only answer. I hope that I hope that defines what I mean by politics better than what some people would think when they hear it. That's what I mean. I propose questions. I propose circumstances, and then I explore them. And you guys go along with the ride. And you know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, well. Hopefully you tell me so I can figure out how to adjust if that becomes a thing. I want us around forever, or as long as we can be. I want to build a Batman. I want to build a Spider-Man. But Who knows? Who knows? I want to build a Marvel universe, but you never know. You never know. I'm just happy we're able to do as much as we've been able to, and the fact that we have been able to, if I was to shake the 8 ball, signs point to yes. So I'm going with that. I'm going with that. Johan Zeke says, check the Cactus Twitter. I'm gonna switch off of this back to the scene. Just because it's kind of weird showing your Twitter notifications and such, and I don't know. I doubt it would cause any trouble, but oh, okay. Well, thank you, Merc. You did a little promo. I'm gonna go ahead and retweet that. Thank you very much. Doesn't look like you tagged me, Mr. Cactus. Oh wow, there's a lot of I'm behind. Things have been hopping while I'm here yakking to you folks. Yeah, I'm getting behind for you, the fans. I'm getting behind. No, let me see. I gotta find a Cactus Coyote link so I can go to his page real quick and see what he's talking about. If it's something I can show you, I'll go straight to showing you. Yeah, it's basically what I was showing you already twice. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw the link into our Discord, the IronVerse Discord. If you're in here and you want it in the Discord, you're going to have to DM me on Twitter. Excuse me. You're going to have to DM me on Twitter or, excuse me, I might do it again. Problem with beer is if you chug it, this is what happens. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the Discord. If you want in the Discord, please just let me know. Find me on any of the social media platforms and DM me. I've publicly promoted it, and there are slots through those links if you just want to find the links. But this might be easier. I've been trying to control the influx because it can be hard to control. I have wonderful moderators. It's a great group of folks, a lot of comic creators, a lot of good comic fans in the Discord. But yeah, you can't be too safe these days, and there's a lot of bad actors in indie comics at the moment that I would rather not open the door directly for if I can help it. So I would rather just talk to you for a second before I shoot you a link, if I can. But if you want to just go find that link because you want in, those are there, and I'm not going to shut them off, and I'm not going to kick you out of the Discord for finding them. Just behave when you're in there and enjoy it. A lot of good resources. I really try to put together a Discord that has a lot of functionality and a lot of different facets to enjoy and explore, and hopefully if you're a comic creator, to help you grow, if you're a comic fan, to help you understand the processes, if you're a Jack Irons supporter, to make sure you can always get in contact with the team for whatever reasons you need. So I went and dropped that in there, dollar coins. So yeah, let me see. Yeah, I know. So in our chat, Cactus Coyote ended up mentioning he wished he had an IronVerse Comics logo to put on the campaign. I did design one. It's sitting with Vince Rush at the moment. I might have to kick it to another member because he's busy. He's busy as shit. But because I have a general idea of what it is. It looks all right, but I need an artist to do it and not just me. It's literally another one of my drawings. It's not great. Let me see. Check the comment. I put a panel piece. So there's something I'm supposed to look in here, huh? Aha! Aha! Ha! 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 All right. Cool. So there's something I can show you. The first exclusive. That's right, folks. If you're just listening, get to your computer. You're gonna want to see this. No. But seriously, no. This literally is the first panel preview of Cactus Coyote, the Western adaptation by Andrea Boscolo and Dollar Coins. I get to show you the first panel. You know what? I'm super excited. So let me get to it, and then I'll get back to chat. Gorgonite, I see your question. Wham! First panel preview. Anyway, it's not the first panel. There's actually a lot of cool stuff in the first panel, but first panel preview. This is Andrea Boscolo's kind of art. This is Cactus butting in on somebody's gambling, as he does. Gambling is going to be a large theme in Cactus. It's I think it's how Cactus sees he can get ahead and actually try and reclaim and forge himself into something. And I think that's a big part of it. But I would rather dollar coins. If he ever ends up on a panel with me, he can talk about what he designed it for. I can just say what I think I see in it, and I can say why I appreciate it so much. We're just going to do panel previews. Again, I was explaining why I think a lot of indie creators are making mistakes showing full pages of coloring and such. If you're showing every page, for sure. Most of them are not showing every page, so right there is already. But I like having, every page when you're reading through that book should be surprising. So if you show a whole page, the only thing that's probably going to be surprising is the writing. And so you lost a little bit of magic there. Whereas if you show a panel, we don't know what led up to this knock. We don't know why he's so freaking smirky. We don't know what Cactus is up to. But I freaking love that panel. And I freaking love the pages that are in so far. And I'm going to go ahead and retweet that real quick. I don't know why I didn't. Well, blam. Now let me see. Now I'll pull that up. That's so cool. OBS, if you can figure it out, there's so much that makes your life easier. Like right now I have chat up and you guys can't see it, but I can see it. I finally got my second monitor plugged in and working too, so that should help with if I do gaming streams. So let me go through here. How did the idea of Cactus Coyote originate? I did get off topic. I'm so sorry, Gordon. So I got 2 questions. I'm going to answer, I guess 3 questions. 3 questions from you. I'm going to try and answer properly. So how did the idea of Cactus Coyote originate? Overall, I am pulling a blank there. I was talking about I wanted the heavy metal superhero team and I wanted an alien in it. I never came up with what form that alien would take and what metal to attach to that alien to keep the thematics. And you know what? We figured out how to do it. Cactus Coyote is a metal themed name, very much like Jack Irons, the Steel Cowboy. And that's because Cactus is one of the most valuable starship metals in IronVerse. Cactus with a K. It's what Jack wears on him. It can be as thin and as loose as fabric, but it's as tough as steel, tough as titanium in some cases. It comes in a lot of different forms. The stuff that would be on a starship hull is thick, so it wouldn't bend and move like fabric. But it can be so thin that it could be as lightweight and comfortable as fabric, but as protective and as strong as steel. And that's what Jack is wearing, and that's what Cactus takes his namesake from. So that's part of it. How many prototypes? There's a few. In fact, I can. If I still have this open, I can show you. So this is the final design, as you saw with Andrea Boscolo's final design. So this is one iteration. But I think even in this, I can show you a couple others. So there's this one. This was one of the earliest ones that was a full image of him that Dollar Coins did. He had a tail. That's no longer there. His coat was a little bit longer. That's no longer there. There were tweaks. Yeah, see, at this point he still had the tail popping up. Noodle arms and such, This point, did he couldn't tell at this point. I couldn't tell you how many. I will say, I'm sure we'll answer that at some point. How many prototypes, but it was quite a few. And the overall concept went through quite a few. And basically he wouldn't exist at all. And a lot of IronVerse comics and the overall concept of trying to push a full weird Western cyberpunk dystopian comic book universe. Yeah, that's a hell of a thing to freaking say. Probably would not have actually fallen through, and I probably would have just focused on Jack and finishing Jack. And I might not even had the balls to do that, and I probably would have just maybe finished with issue 2. I have no idea. Nonetheless, Cactus Coyote manifested out of the ether and out of a chance meeting and a growing friendship, and I am very proud of all the different variations and how it's been growing and what we've been able to accomplish already, and I'm super stoked for the future of this character and especially of overall IronVerse comics. A lot of cool stuff. Let me get to your second question there, or third question, I guess it would be, Gorgonite. I get a very Looney Tunes vibe from Cactus Coyote. Was that an influence on the character? I would assume so. I think so. I think it was actually quite a bit. Trying to part of what he is as a shapeshifter allows him to be a little bit more have that off model fun of Looney Tunes. And as we develop this character, I think you'll feel and see more of what Dollar Coins is trying to establish as part of the IronVerse through that flavor, through that feel, through that Looney Tunes kind of catch. The other thing we've heard that it kind of feels like is Ralph Bosky. So it's kind of Looney Tunes if Ralph Bosky was doing them. So it's dark, it's heavy, it's gritty, but it's wacky and it's still zany. And it's put through a manga. I mean, honestly, Dollar Coins is a mangaka, first and foremost. So it's put through a mangaka's mind, if not through his pen on this campaign. It was put through his pen on the manga. So you can always go read the manga and you'll get that. But I think you're still going to get that flavor, that feel. Overall in IronVerse comics when we're in space, but in particular with Cactus Coyote. So it's like if a Japanese Ralph Bosky did Looney Tunes in Jack Irons' universe, in a weird Western dystopian cyberpunk apocalypse. Thick or thick? I'm not sure what reference that was to. I would assume the first one and not the second one. Though Cactus Coyote has more of the second spelling than any other IronVerse title so far. I think Lady Silverado, which is what Silver Soldier actually became, I think Lady Silverado will be the other one that has thick written all over it. In particular because Carl O'Rowe, he likes his thick ladies. And he does wonderful work with them, so I do not mind. Thank you, Merc, for showing up. Thank you so much for promoting and for being a mod and for being a bro. Merc, you take care. Thank you again. See you on that other side. See you on the IronVerse trail and all that. Let's see what I can do here now, though. Let's go up here. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh this. See what's up with that. That's what's up with that. All right. Let's go over here. 9:10. Nice. We broke the 2-hour mark this time. Cool. Oh, thick or thick. Ha! If it was referencing the metal, then no, it is the second thick, or it is the first thick. It's on a starship hull. It would be feet of cactus. It wouldn't be centimeters of cactus, which it is if you're wearing it as clothing. That's part of what makes Jack so kind of unique is he's actually been able to recover and find, crashed starships and dead aliens and such in the wastes of Earth, and take their cactus metal and forge it into clothing. That though he's immortal, he doesn't like pain any more than the next person. It doesn't bother him, but why deal with it if you don't have to? And plus, it kind of it helps him leave an impression. And in the first issue. There ain't nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a healthy sense of the dramatic. It's part of his character. He likes having that flair. It's why he rides a motorcycle pulled by sentient AI horses. It's a lot. It's a lot of showboating because it's entertaining to an immortal. So yeah, folks. 9:10. If there are any more questions, please go ahead and shoot them. I could do some heavier alcohol, but I think I'm just going to keep with this for now, and maybe I'll do that off stream. But, yeah, first panel preview right there. It's not quite exclusive to the stream, but you know what? It's exclusive to ask questions on the stream, and it's exclusive to see me comment on it. I'm very happy with the overall page of this. I got a comment on this. I guess you folks might have it, and since you have my cursor here, I can circle it. So getting this right here. I watched. Ed was I was an observer to Dollar Coins and Andrea kind of work it out to get these little touches, the chips, the die, the stacks, and this garter and the open skirt. Or open dress right there at the thigh. I was privy to those conversations. And I fucking love making comics. I really do. There's so much fun interaction. There's so much give and take. And at the end of the day, you end up with something pretty damn cool. So I again, thank you folks for letting me be here, helping me be here, and supporting our works. Again, I'm gonna put it open to questions. I don't know if I want to open it up to anything else just yet. Let's see. I don't think there's anything important here. I think I've had the music off this whole time too, haven't I? No. Yes. This one's just super quiet. There it is. Now I can kind of hear it. I'm kind of not surprised. This sucks. Let's see if I can find something good. I gotta actually take the time to put a playlist together that I can just open every time instead of just dragging and dropping these large files in. But yeah. Oh, that's a good question, Gorgonite. So, IronVerse Comics, what kind of gadgets and weapons would you give Cactus? How big would his arsenal be? So, he's a living garbage disposal? And I bet he's a bit of a klepto, in all honesty. I can't speak 100%. So he probably has a giant stockpile of weapons and stuff in his gut. No, you're very true. You're very right, Zero Fox. It is, if it makes it more concise and clear when I'm answering questions, then it probably is right not to have too much music in the background. But, anywho, so basically anything we need him to have, he could have, theoretically. But he's not a combatant. Don't think of him as a fighter. As far as I can tell, that's not what Cactus is. He can. I would say he can, and he could probably kick some ass, honestly, to most Xenos in the galaxy, but not to most of the things he'd actually need to fight. Most of the things he'd actually need to fight could probably destroy him. But he's a thief. Think of him more as Lupin the Third. He's more shifty. He's shifty and shady. He does have a pistol. I've seen that often in a few different pieces. So basically anything we need him to have, with an emphasis on the character kind of feels like the Mask in that Looney Tunes superhero feel. So, for instance, in the manga, he hacks up a gas grenade. In it, he hacks up a big smoke grenade, gas grenade. I think it's a smoke grenade. Wonderful scene. I really love the artistry dollar coins actually did on those. Hammerverse logic. I'm not aware of Hammerverse, but I'm assuming that means yeah, I don't know Hammerverse. That might be my bad not knowing. I'm assuming that's a comic creator, in all honesty. I just don't recognize it. I feel bad by that. I'm not much of a comic historian. I don't know as much as I should. But anywho, I think it would be able to the character can be tailored to the situation at hand, but without making him too OP. Again, in the manga, he has a nuclear reacting, a fusion reactor engine for a starship in his stomach that he wires into his little tin can starship to escape from the Anu Confederation that's chasing him. So his gadgets are really unlimited. Just whatever serves the plot, which I know can make it kind of a Mary Sue, but a lot of IronVerse characters are kind of like that. But, they're character exploration pieces, though. Mary Sue pieces aren't character exploration pieces, they're power fantasies. And I don't think there's a single character in IronVerse that is a power fantasy and solely a power fantasy. They're all character exploration pieces or thematic exploration pieces. And so the characters can be extremely powerful. For instance, Jack, you cannot kill him. He is literally part. You can't kill him any more than you could kill gravity, or you could kill light. You know, he's a foundation of reality. That's how his quote unquote healing factor, how his immortality works. You can destroy him, but he will remanifest. You know, you can alter something, but he will still be there. You can't really fuck with him, and that's a very powerful thing. But out of that, you can contain him, you can capture him, you can imprison him, you can bury him. There's lots of things you can do to defeat him. So he's not a Mary Sue that way. He's also super intelligent. A lot of the hard work we're going to have to do is make sure that these characters, though they're extremely powerful, the universe we put them in still makes them little shits. They're not that powerful compared to what they oppose. And I hope we can continue to show that. It's basically they're opposing worlds of Supermen. You know, this is like Wolverine on Superman. It's not. They're both extremely powerful individuals taking individually, but you put them against each other. I mean, Logan's just gonna be suffering. You know, if Superman's going full on out, he can carve him into bits and shit. It's not crush him into a little ball. That's the difference. Their power level, though extreme, might as well be very close to human in relation to what they oppose. In most cases, not all cases. Again, there's only one IronVerse title that has a character that's going to be on that level, a main character on that level of power, alongside the others. Jack ain't it, really. He's just smart and clever, and very hard to kill. Very accurate shot. You know, he can deal with human foes like no one else. They're nothing. You know, anything human strength are relative. Cactus, again, he's a thief. He's not combative. I would almost say he could be a coward at point. My assumption would be that he can pull his bootstraps up, and you know, if something really needed done, Cactus has the heart and the will to do it. But it better benefit him. That would be my guess. I'm super excited to see. Let's see. Oh! Thank you, Gorgonite. It references Looney Tunes and how Bugs, Daffy, etc. can pull a hammer out of his ass at any moment. Yes! You nailed it. You got it perfect, Gorgonite. That is exactly it. So, they're the X-Men and the world's apocalypse. Yes, sir. That's a great... Even though using the term apocalypse, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. The universe, the overall arc, the thing that binds all of the comic titles and the entire universe that they take place in, and all the stories will take place in, is the four horsemen of the apocalypse. That's at least what they're called on Earth. On each planet they have different names, different manifestations, different looks, different powers. In fact, the ones in space have been established for millennia, so they're much more powerful than the ones you see on Earth. And you'll see the ones on Earth are where we kind of set a bar, and when we get to space, we're going to demolish that bar, and you'll see, sure, they fought hard, tooth and nail to get this far, and guess what? They're fucked now. That's the hope. That's the hope. The four horsemen carve out reality into their own making and try to make their own hellscapes. And in space, they've been established long enough that they each have very large swaths of the galaxy that's theirs that they can leverage to power and strength and design. And they've had the time to do it. And luckily, they fight each other. They don't work together very often unless the common goal benefits. They can think a common goal could benefit them more than their brother, then they'll work with their brother to get that goal done. But it's very rare that they would. And in particular, Death, his domain has no minions. His domain are ghost worlds. His domain are nothingness. So he's the big mystery of IronVerse comics that I hope to reveal as we keep going. But the other three and the Anu Confederation, very powerful individuals. For instance, the Anu have a character you meet in our manga, and I believe you'll meet in Cactus Coyote the first issue, but I don't know. I'd have to talk to Dollar Coins about that. Living Star. The power of a supernova put into a body. That's one of the more powerful beings in IronVerse. And she's actually a good guy, relatively. She's one of the few good things in a very fascist organization. I love the world we've built. I could go on and on about it, and it would be a lot of spoilers. I don't want to do that. I want people to fall in love with the world like I have through learning about it and seeing it grow. But yeah, there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming. And thank you for the great questions, Gorgonite. That's been extremely helpful. 9:22. I'm going to go ahead and go another 8 minutes. I have enough time for a couple more questions, and then I am out of here. You folks have been so good tonight. Thank you so much for showing up. Learning about Cactus Coyote. Considering paying attention to him. Really appreciate that. Let me go ahead and switch real quick. We're going to go over here. Music might go up on your guys' end. Hopefully it doesn't blast you. Oh, that's weird. You would think it would go down. It's odd on this screen that it's not scrolling up enough to see the last part of chat. It's actually stuck at the thick part. That's very odd. Oh well. Doesn't matter. It's not a biggie. I can see chat properly, so that's all that matters. Gorgonite says, this universe sounds like some Judge Dredd versus Judge Death kind of stuff. I've been told the two comic companies that IronVerse would fit perfectly under are 2000 AD and Heavy Metal. And that's been an extreme compliment to me. In terms of indie, they've done some of the most extreme creative works in the heavy genre, which is exactly what IronVerse is. So I'm always pleased to hear that. Judge Dredd is a great comparison. I fucking love Judge Dredd. He's very much an influence. That kind of hardcore mega city is very much part of IronVerse comics. You'd find them in the Anu Confederation. You'd find them in Famine Inc. territory. But you wouldn't find any on Earth anymore. The closest thing to a mega city would be the New Deadwood territory, and that's a bunch of loosely affiliated settlements within a demilitarized, within a ring that the Anu Confederation maintains as a reservation for humanity to keep them alive as a goodwill PR stunt is all it really is. It's like, yeah, we're still protecting species from these horsemen. We're not as evil. This is a good thing we're doing, you know. The Anu Confederation, I'm really looking forward to exploring more too. I love the universe we've built. I'm super excited to explore it more with you folks. So far, one comic released, one manga released, second comic coming out this month. I say this month, July. Cactus Coyote, end of July, we're funding it. Hopefully that'll be out this year, would be my hope, if we get it funded. And then some point during the funding, I'll try and get Jack 3 out, and then we'd also include a mini for our next title. So we're working on it. We're working on it slowly but surely. I'm excited to show you folks a lot more on Tracker Top Predator. He takes a main role in Jack Iron's number 3, and he's teased in Jack Iron's number 2, both in a pinup and in a part of the story. I hope you guys will really like that character. It's the Native American counterpart to Jack. If you have cowboys, you gotta have Indians. And Tracker is I guess I can give you the overall concept for it. He's kind of been leaked. It's the books are all about hunting extreme beasts, either developed by plague, by famine, aliens, all kinds of stuff. He's the ultimate hunter. It's very much, a lot of Turok inspiration, but more so like video games like Monster Hunter and Dark Souls, and big grand set pieces, Shadow of the Colossus, big grand set pieces where it's just this man, his will, and his tech versus these things he needs to kill for parts, and then those parts will be used, and that's the concept. You guys get to see what he's using those parts for, and then they'll be shooting that up there. Let me see. Another one. Thank you, Gorgonite. I love your engagement tonight. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much it really does help. I grasp at straws very often in these because it's quiet. So, seen as Rag/Regina, I know who you're talking about, has cameos and cameos in a bunch of indie projects. Will we be seeing her in this universe? I can say, Mr. Marvel's universe 1-to-1 has a lot going for it. I'm gonna say that. 2, absolutely. I have an idea of how I want to include, at the very least, Easter eggs on the Rags side. There are 2 Easter eggs to other comic creators in issue number 2. The first one's right on the first page because of how much I appreciated the support and the gift I was given. I don't know if folks will get it. I coded it pretty good, but it's right there. I hope. And it's kind of a Rags reference too, in all honesty. It kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Right there on page 1. But we'll see. I have ideas, but herself, I do not know. I'm proud to call Brian of Rags and the Rags team good friends of IronVerse, and I'm certain something will happen down the line. I'm very, very, very happy to do so, and I really want to do so. And the second cameo in there is kind of interesting. Folks will get that one probably a little bit stronger. I laid that one on heavy. That's still fun, though. I don't think it ruins the moment or anything. But, yeah, I would love to work in something with Regina. She's had a bunch of cool cameos. Similar, like in Ferryman, she had a quote-unquote a pinup page that was a commercial for cybernetics. That was really cool. IronVerse could do something like that. The thing is, I'm unsure. I think if Brian gets Rags as far as he kind of wants, though he doesn't want to, if you follow his Twitter, so I have no goddamn clue what's in that guy's head. I'm excited for their next project, Mr. Lister's Sister Fister. It's a very much a Rags style project. Those guys can't turn off being themselves, and that's what makes their projects so damn fun. But if we get Rags season 2 and more, there's some revelations that would allow some very cool things I could do cameo-wise that I can't do yet. That I'd rather wait and give it the proper treatment I would like to see. But that might never happen. So, day at a time. So far, we do have a crossover piece, if you guys are interested. It was done by Luigi Terrell of Rags fame. It's a Jack Regina crossover piece that's just absolutely wonderful. Very cool gift. I'm hoping I can do something to return that gift with Maxie, but again, one day at a time. IronVerse runs on a lower budget than most indie titles, and it's blessed that artists are willing to adapt and work with us because how much they believe in our work. We'll see. I hope so. Exactly, Gorgonite. Exactly. That's what it is. He's doing right, season 2. He's just being a cheeky bitch about it. I hope. You are 100% putting the situation forward properly in my eyes. I don't know if he's doing it. I can say... I don't even know if I can say that. I can say if we don't get it, the world's really going to miss out on some fun stuff. I can say that for sure, and I'm going to be kind of pissed at him. But I don't blame him wanting to switch goals for a while. Going with Mr. Lister for a little bit, see how he feels. And I mean, they've got a crossover with Black Ops and Punchline coming up too. Oh, there it is. That's the piece. If you're looking at the screen right now, that's the Rags Jack Irons crossover piece that they did. Wonderful gift. I'm still so surprised they did that. So cool. But yeah, Rag Season 2 is fucking amazing. Rag Season 1 is getting there. It's getting there. And I'm just happy he decided to do the second project instead of nuking everything, which was the tale last year. Was I'm going to finish and nuke everything. Yeah, that guy. Love him. Super dude. And I don't even know if it's all just a goddamn marketing ploy with those guys. They are also part of the shit post agenda, so I have no goddamn clue what's honest and what's not, except for the very cool extensions of trust and of friendship that they've shown me. That stuff I know. I kind of know what they're thinking of. Exactly, right? It is a really cool arc. The Justice Bieber body slamming arc. I'm excited. They have all the potential in the world. Rags is doing really well for the publisher. He broke Rags issue 4, got in the top, what was it, 260 comics? Something like that. It beat about like 240 or so on the sales list. They are doing so well. I'm so proud of them, and I'm so blessed that they decided to give me a little bit of a hand up last year, and to just I'm just lucky they're cool dudes. You know, overreacting. He's very protective. And soldier. What the hell do you expect? But yeah. I'm excited. It's a wonderful time to be an indie, no matter how hard it can be and how toxic it can be. I had to learn to just float on the toxicity instead of in it. And so far it's fine. And I haven't had to deal with it except like twice. And I was able to shut it down real quick. And since then, folks haven't really been doing anything towards IronVerse except continuously engaging with the promotional materials and the work that we're doing. And, you know, that's a good sign, right? Are there any cosmic beings similar to or even greater than the Four Horsemen? You're going to have to read IronVerse comics to find out, bro. That's one I can't really speak on. We have a lot of plans down the line. The only thing I really want to keep emphasizing is how important the Four Horsemen are as a crux. And that it wouldn't be a poor assumption to assume that there's a possibility of more beings like them. Or more than them there. But for now, we're going to use that part more as a driver for the story than needing to move past it yet or above it yet. I do know how IronVerse ends. Dollar Coins and I know how IronVerse ends. Which can happen either at the end of Jack's first arc, if folks lose interest, which is fair. You know, maybe we don't put out products that people are interested in. At least we can get that first arc. So either it ends at the first arc of Jack, which will be kind of... It'll be disappointing for me, no fucking question. But it would work, and it's or it ends... Wow, man. Honestly, every title we have is being developed as an unlimited series that leads to team books that leads to a team book that is also an unlimited series. But you know, you dream too big, you might not actually get any story told. We know how it ends. And the ending can also be a new beginning, which is nice. So, you know, if we had to take a hiatus, the point and the message that our ending there conveys would give us that possibility. And it has to do with that higher end philosophical driving force to the IronVerse, where it's, you know, those four evil things, and then there's another thing that's kind of very gray, and it's literally gray coats. It's fucking a confederacy. It's an alien confederacy. And then you know, I'm very happy with it. I don't know. Is the best I can say. Thank you, Gorgonite. That's the hope. Zero Fox told me, you know, with the pacing for issue 2, which was my main worry after he read it, you know, he said you're trying to fit a Tolkien-esque meal into a snack bar-sized set of works. So if we can do that right, hell yeah, we can do that. If we're given enough time, that's the thing. Like the Marvel universe is kind of really based in reality, so you have to play off of the characters interacting with each other more than you play into the universe. Whereas DC, they were able to set tones to their universe that make it kind of allows them to play with thematics a little bit differently than you can in Marvel. They still did that in Marvel, like Asgard and you know, their space stuff, but it's different. We're trying to build a One Piece universe that can go on as long as One Piece has. That really is the goal. And we're not starting as One Piece did, which is, you know, build your crew and then it goes and goes. We kind of are, but we want to put emphasis on all these individual characters more so than the team until we get to the team, because each of these characters has their own very unique thing to convey, very unique experiences to go through, and not necessarily with each other like in One Piece. One Piece, it's gathering together and they all have these different missions they're on, but together they can complete this mission. They can complete those missions. In IronVerse, they all have the same idea of just trying to find their place and maybe make the world a better place through finding their place in it. So the individual journey is more important than that collective journey. But that collective journey will be there. And I'm really excited to get to team dynamics, and I'm really excited to explore all the different characters, the 5 main we have, and the story we have for that. If we can get them into space, it basically becomes Star Trek meets One Piece meets a dystopian hell future. So I want to see that, but we'll see. And yeah, I do deserve a slap through the internet. You're gonna make a saga out of this, and don't you dare think otherwise. Like I said before, that's the hope. It is built as a saga, so you know. We're running with it as such, and we're releasing the second footsteps, the second trail on that saga. July 29th on Indiegogo. Cactus Coyote. Alright, it looks like I'm almost going to work on the 3-hour mark now, which is fine. I appreciate it. I'm very glad to be able to do that. So I am going to leave it for the 20 minutes, but then I got to call it. I got to... long day, and I should be resting, honestly, but I need to do these every week, and I'm glad this one's going to be a double length. The last few I kind of cut off because I didn't have too much to say. But this one, though I've reiterated a lot of things, I did have stuff to say. So, super stoked about that. I'm really excited for Cactus Coyote. Please keep paying attention, folks. It means a lot to me if you folks would consider carrying over some, if not all, of your support from Jack, also to Cactus. They go together. Oh, thanks for subbing, Gorgonite. Oh, you bastard. Doesn't look like that works. There's a message box. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor live, but up here between the Cactus Coyote and my ongoing over here, it's supposed to give a just subbed message with a little image, but... oh, it probably did, but it's too low. Let me check. It might be. I'll move it to the top. And, because, yeah, I put a lot of bells and whistles in here. I'm kind of pissed when they don't show them. Yeah, there's supposed to be a little thing that when you did it. Well, thanks, Zero. Thanks for showing up. Everybody go and follow... at Fox1971 on Twitter if you'd like. He does amazing logo work. A very cherished member of Team IronVerse Comics. Good friend. Thank you. I saw what you put in the IronVerse Comics chat there, Zero. I'm going to go ahead and maybe put something up in there for you to take a look at and see what you think. We go from there on that, because I would like a brand logo, especially if we start releasing multiple titles. It would be good to have that logo on top so that you look at it and say, oh, this is connected to this. It's like putting a Marvel logo or whatever. With Wicked Publishing, they do a bunch of separate individual titles, so you put a Wicked logo on there, it doesn't necessarily put the universes together. Whereas if we put an IronVerse logo on it, it very much means this is part of canon, this is part of what we're exploring. And I'd love to be able to do that. So maybe someday soon we'll be able to market with the logo. I'd be very happy with that. I have the rough again, so I'll end up throwing that in the chat. And then when Vince has time, maybe he can take a look at whatever you work on. I don't know. My hope with creating the logo was to give everybody in IronVerse Comics a whack at it in some form, to give it that extra little oomph. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, thank you for showing up, Zero. Thank you again. Thank you so much. And I'll do that right after the stream. So, well, I guess I can do that now and keep yakking. Let me go ahead and see if I can find the thing, though. It should be with Vince, but I think I sent him that before he started lettering issue 2. Which probably means it is gone. But, oh, it's on my phone. Maybe I didn't delete it on my phone, and that would make it easy. But yeah, anywho, folks, Organite, you've been Johnny on the spot with those questions. I'm not asking you to give more, but if you have more, I'd be happy to answer. It's been a lot of fun tonight. I kind of needed it. Again, I was, if you didn't catch the beginning, it's been a long, weird day. Good day. Had a great flight this morning, ballooning. That was a hell of a flight. Easy. Last 2 flights have been really easy, which always makes it better. And of course, folks don't know, I actually work ballooning with Laguna Muta. So, again, makes my job easier. A lot of fun. Good group of folks, and get out in nature before it gets too hot. Get to go see the gorge bridge, which, if you guys have seen Terminator Salvation and a few other movies, you've seen the gorge bridge. Yeah, it's I enjoy that job. I'm so glad it's back. In all honesty, I like my other work too, but I don't know. That one goes faster. Let me look. Did I save it? Did I delete it because I thought it was bad? There it is. The very rough Fox. I don't know if you're still here and listening, but there you go. So yeah, it's in the chat box. Thank you again. Take a look, see if it gives you any ideas, and we'll go from there. Let me see, anything else? I did not send him quote-unquote logo work because it's not paid. I sent him a logo internship. So, I mean, that's up to you, or if we're going famine on brand, I gave him slave labor, but since he hadn't done it yet, I can't really quite call that slavery. So, no, my idea, just like I kind of tried to do with our covers, if you remember, there, I used this term earlier, superstitious. It's not really superstition. It's more a belief in magic, and I want everybody to have... Everybody that's important to me in Team IronVerse Comics, so that's everybody in Team IronVerse Comics, if I can. I wanted everybody to have their hand on the cover of Jack, for instance. Of course, Coyote didn't get his hand on it. Dollar Coins didn't get his hand on it. Things like that. But you know, everybody who worked on the book, I wanted their hand on the cover. So everybody in IronVerse Comics that I can get to have a hand on the logo, I want that just for that. Hard to explain. But just for that, and that being said, I you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. At this point, it really doesn't. It just has to look good, and everybody's got to kind of enjoy it. But it's fair to call me out on that, Zero. It's fair. It's very fair to call me out on that. You're our go-to guy for that. And yes, I thought I did think of you first, but I since I was sending Vince pencils, I thought it'd be interesting to see his ink work doing what I thought my pencils were trying to accomplish. But at this point, you know what? I don't, whatever works. Again, thank you. IronVerse Comics, if you weren't doing IronVerse and instead had an opportunity to work on any IP of my choosing, which would it be? You'd have to ask me before I started working on IronVerse. There's characters I love. There's a lot of IP I absolutely adore. I'm just unsure I have the talents to do it justice, let alone could work with with the other talents that would be necessary to present those IPs in a wonderful light. Before I wrote anything IronVerse related, I broke my teeth on a big Marvel crossover event. Just a second, I gotta fix something. I worked on a fanfic Marvel crossover event. That was terrible. I didn't know the characters very well. It has an awesome intro where fucking Nick Fury assassinates Doctor Doom and then is murdered on the streets for it in Latveria. It's got an awesome intro I'm very proud of. But after that fact, I didn't know some characters I wrote into very well. I didn't know how they worked at that time. This is a decade ago. I wasn't too much of a comic reader at that point. But, so that was something I did. I'm a gigantic Punisher fan. I could do a one-shot with him, I think. I don't think I'd want to handle an arc or an issue-to-issue basis, just because I don't think I could do that. Jonah Hex, same thing. I mean, most IPs like that, I would rather do like a short arc, trade paperback, something concise and finished. I don't think there's an unlimited series outside of IronVerse I'd want to attach myself to, just because those IPs are bigger than me. And if I get a whack at them, I want it to be a short whack that if it's amazing, great, and people will love it, and it's that. If it's bad, people can forget it and move on to the next writer on that IP. Hellblazer. I'd love to do Hellblazer. That's dead, though, and now it's just Constantine, and there's never going to be another Vertigo-esque Hellblazer story, which really pisses me off. Really, the thing that would sell me on an IP would be more the team and how the company approached me about the IP and what kind of controls I'd have over building from that IP. And then it would be a specific IP. I would want it to be one I know well enough to, give some kind of justice to. And there's quite a few I could do that, but for instance, I wouldn't want to touch a Batman. There's just too much there. We're not worthy very much applies to me on working on Batman. But same with Superman. There's a lot of things that are just much bigger than me that it would take. If they gave me Alex Ross and basically any title, of course I would do it. But again, it would depend on the creative team. Let me go here and check something real quick, folks. Just hold on. Got about 10 more minutes. Nothing important. Sorry for that quiet there, folks. So, yeah, really, in terms of IPs, it would be difficult for me. There's a few indie projects I might want to do, but I don't know. Really, I'm all in on IronVerse. I've written... so every title has a mini ready for an artist. 4 of the 5 have those artists attached. 2 out of 5 are actually in production. Third title has had layouts done, which is actually really cool. I've seen layouts for Tracker. Well, of course I know my limits. Fuck. I've been seeing what people who don't do with these things. And respect is the last thing that comes to mind, and that is so sad. Well, I know, Zero, but just because... I appreciate that you're still here, too. Thank you, Zero. Zero says, I wouldn't be intimidated by bats or soups. They're handy top-tier properties to much lesser talent. I appreciate you think my talent is above that, and it's true. In some cases... see, I very much come from a school of try to judge as little as you can, because you can never truly know the person or even the art, or what the soul is in the art. And the better the art, the more the artists communicated what they wanted to you. So, in that effect, it's easier to judge the better the art is. So I'll say that. And I will say they are taking risks on people. For instance, Brett Booth, at Demon Puppy on Twitter, I was having a talk with, and he was talking about, it used to be you'd spend 10 years in the indie trenches before the big two would pick you up. And if you just look at the evidence these days, straight up, and just from that angle, no other political, social angle, don't even look at it at that, that's not the case anymore. It might be the case for a few. The meritocracy is not dead. It's just harder to make your way on that merit rather than on other things. I try to... When I first started out, every live stream I was on was the same thing. And it was just being mean to mean people. I don't want the mean. I'm not here to talk down to other people's creative works. I'm not here to talk down on other companies' decisions. I will present evidence like I just did. The sales of these novice artists and authors that they brought in, they're telling. And on Bats and Soups, I believe they've got Brian Edward Hill on Batman and the Outsiders, and people are loving that. A lot of people love Tom King's deconstructive work on Batman. It's not my flavor. It's not a lot of people's flavor, but if people are enjoying it and it is selling enough, then, I can't say no to that. I just might not understand it, and that's fine. You're not supposed to understand all art. It's just some art's supposed to reach you and understand you, almost. So different art for different people. IronVerse Comics, in particular, Jack, I'm really trying to build the biggest bridge I can. Jack is supposed to be a character that is built on all of humanity. All of it. The evil, the good, every race, every color, every creed, all of it. Jack is built on that history. He is the last remnant of it. Most historical archives are gone. Humanity doesn't remember itself for shit. Genetically, humanity is not the same humanity Jack was born into. It's still human, but it ain't the same. It's a lot stronger. It's a lot tougher. It can handle and eat things that it couldn't have handled and eaten before. It can handle radiation it couldn't handle before. Humanity is no longer humanity as we know it. But since it is still humanity, it's still part of our ancestors. It's still part of that line tracing back to as far as Jack can remember, which is the origins of civilization. It's still those folks. It's just the grandkids. And so the point is with Jack is he's supposed to be one of the most empathetic characters in all of comics. Just from his concept, from his thing. You can tell any tale through Jack, any tale throughout history through Jack, and it can be part of his history, part of human history, part of all of our collective understanding and growth without those goddamn lines and labels. But who knows how good of an idea that is. And thank you, Zero. I do appreciate your faith in my talents and that I could do those series justice. Between Bruce and Clark, I would rather do Clark because I understand what kind of story I want to tell with Clark more than I do with Batman. Bats has a lot more of his deeper stories have been told, and I think that's why Tom King went this angle. Besides the point that deconstruction's all the rage these days. With Soups, I wouldn't be... Well, Soups is going to be different if I ever got the chance to work at him, too. I mean, he's been in the Navy now, so a lot of the empathy and the strength could still be there. And, I mean, it's Frank Miller, yeah, so it can't be that. I don't know. I don't read enough of those properties. I've watched a lot. I've experienced a lot. They're close to my heart. And I have read a lot of Batman. But, yeah, I don't know. I would like to approach them with reverence and respect. If I got the opportunity, it'd be very hard for me to say no, unless I really felt I couldn't do it. My hope is they would approach me at a point where they're already back to putting out top quality, awesome stuff. And they're through these growing pains of trying to build a new industry out of an old industry, which is what they're doing. They're trying to change from comics to lifestyle brands, both DC and Marvel, with Marvel trying it so much harder. And I can say I'm pretty pissed, too, that they killed Vertigo, almost on principle. I wouldn't want to work for DC, because they're like, oh, we'll just make Black Label so that people aren't confused. Oh, and here's this imprint that does all these horror comics called IronVerse or whatever, and they could have been under Vertigo, and the confusion would still be the same. Their justification on axing Vertigo, besides the fact that it wasn't selling the very odd choices of titles they decided to. I don't know. It'd be tough. If they were willing to bring back Vertigo for me, I would. Man, I would run with that. But I don't know. Bats and Soups, it would be Soups I would like to take a whack at. If for Marvel, it would be Punisher, no question. Then Ghost Rider, and then Daredevil. I love Daredevil. I'm a huge Daredevil fan. I don't talk about him enough. Matt always kind of falls to the back in my mind, but his comics and how you can write Matt, unlike a lot of other heroes, you can do it a little bit with Wolverine, like Matt. But I love Matt's ability to explore a room, explore a sheet, explore a goddamn toothbrush to a detail that is superhuman. I love that. His emotions, his feelings. I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith's Guardian Devil. And there's a wonderful emotional bit in that about how Matt loses his connection to Karen Page and how hard it is for him to let go of it because everything still smells like her fucking 5 months later. Anywho, it's about 10. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it, folks. Thank you for making it a wonderful night for me. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching and listening. If you haven't subbed, please do. Make sure to hit that bell to make sure you get the notifications. I'm going to do this thing's a week. I haven't missed one yet since I started. I think this is number 6. Every Friday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I will be here, drink in hand most of the time, pretty much every time so far. To answer your questions, to run IronVerse PR, to run IronVerse customer support, you can find me here. If you want anything during the weeks, I'm pretty responsive on Twitter. I am pretty damn responsive through the Indiegogo comments. I'm pretty sure you still have access to those even if you didn't back the campaign. Next month, big month for us. Jack 2 hits, and at the end of the month, Cactus Coyote launches. With that, I'm going to be pushing Cactus like crazy. I hope you folks will engage and support. If not, no worries. I appreciate you liking Jack. You don't have to like every title we put out. But if you do, I think we're doing it right. And I think you can if you'll give them a chance. But we'll see. Again, thank you so much. Love you all. I'll see you on that IronVerse Comics trail. And you can find me on Twitter at Cowboy_Steel. That's probably the best place to get updates and engage me. If you want to link to the damn you, Zero. I'm trying to close out here and you do a good comment. Mountain Standard Time. Stop making up pretend time zones. Well, it's what I do. I create time zones. But no, it's also a Canadian time zone, so it's kind of betrayal. But it's the Rocky Mountain time zone. Deal with it. But anywho, take care, folks. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you, Gorgonite, for the questions. Thank you, Zero, for being here. Thank you, Merc, who was here earlier, Laguna, everybody. Thank you so much. Even Stream Elements doing my plugs for me. Thank you, you hell of a bot. See you folks later, and, you can find us. Just go ahead and search up IronVerse Comics. I'm sure you'll find a whole bunch of stuff. Hell, you'll even find a Russian Times article. Yeah, IronVerse Comics made the Russian Times once. Go look at that. That's my final message. Take care, folks. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Wrong button.